Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Marine Execution Officer. Roger was executed at the beginning. Chapter 1. Sea Circle Calendar 1498, Logue Town. Luo Feng stood by the window of the room on the third floor, staring at the towering execution platform not far away. The square under the execution stage was crowded with people, and bursts of noise came over. Luo Feng looked back at the clothes hung on the wall. It was the uniform of the execution officer. I couldn't help but feel a little nervous and expectant. Today is the execution day of the pirate King Gore, D. Roger. He was one of the execution officers sent from naval headquarters to execute the punishment, and at the same time, he was also a traverser. After 2 months, Luo Feng woke up, opened his eyes in a daze, and even crossed into the world of One Piece. As a senior Hamey, Luo Feng is very excited to travel to the world of One Piece. Devil Fruit, Hockey, Straw Hat Boy, Zoro, Nami, Robin. After the excitement, the flow of information suddenly appeared in Luo Feng's mind. According to the information in his mind, Luo Feng was very excited. After crossing over, he became Marine's execution officer. A special department that doesn't need to go out to fight to catch pirates, or deal with logistics and research. Although the treatment is good, but face those fierce pirates every day, to torture, or execute the death penalty. At that time, Luo Feng had a bitter face, which was completely a chore. I thought it was when Marine's career as an execution officer began. In my mind, the system is activated. Luo Feng was excited. He had read many novels in his previous life, so he naturally knew what the system was. The standard configuration of the Traverser. God-level execution officer system. Just need to be executed to get rewards. The reward is random, devil fruit, magic weapon, skill talent, etc., can also strengthen itself. This is like fighting monsters and upgrading equipment in an online game. Especially suitable for the position where Luo Feng is now. So Luo Feng, who carried out execution tasks at naval headquarters after the system was in place, began the mission of execution officer. From the beginning of overcoming fear and tension, to the present 2 months later. Luo Feng has completed 10 executions and also received 10 rewards and strength enhancements. Opened the system properties panel in my mind. Host, Luo Feng. Weapon, premium execution knife produced by the system. Skills, Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle cut. Ability, observation hockey intermediate armament hockey beginner. Fitness, 300 300s. System space, devil fruit. Paramesha, barrier. The system panel is very concise, only expressing a few pieces of information about combat effectiveness. Executed criminals 10 times, let Luo Feng's physical fitness rise to 300, rewarding hockey who is seen and heard and armed. The skill also rewards a sword technique, devil fruit barrier fruit. Looking at the system panel, Luo Feng was nervous, but more looking forward to it. One Piece, he will be the man who executed One Piece. Roger, as a boss-level figure on the ceiling, how much improvement will he bring to him? What kind of abilities will it bring to him? Will it be Logia Devil Fruit? At this time, someone knocked on the door. Luo Feng opened the door. A seaman stood outside the door and saluted. Report, Luo Feng Ensign. The execution is about to begin. Marshal Kongu asked to prepare for dressing. The marine soldier's face was serious, with a feeling of being ready. Okay, thanks for your hard work. The sea soldier saluted again and turned to leave. Luo Feng, who closed the door, took a deep breath and turned to wear a brown execution officer uniform. Wear a criminal officer's hat and take your long-handled execution knife. Set off. Execution platform square. There is already a sea of people here. Marine set up his defenses everywhere. Marshal Hollow, Sengoku Admiral, Garp Vice Admiral, Crane Staff Officer, stood on the roof of a side room. Below is Zephyr Instructor, the next 3 Admiral Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu. Naval Headquarters is here. Luo Feng and another execution officer stood on the execution platform. The execution officer's face was already covered with sweat. Luo Feng looked back at the execution stage. I vaguely saw the great pirates who will be famous in the future. Redhead Shanks and the Crying Clown Buggy. Doflamingo. Sand Crocodile, Crocodile. Eagle Eye, Gecko Moria. Zoro when he was a child. There is also the monkey dragon hidden under the Cap Kabuto. The era of great navigation is coming. At this time, the bell of Logue Town rang. The originally noisy square was silent for an instant. In the square avenue leading to the execution platform. Although Roger was in handcuffs, he strode forward like a winning general. Marine took Roger to the execution stage. Boom 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 boom. The steps are getting closer. The two execution officers Luo Feng swallowed their throats involuntarily. Roger, here it is. The black hair was messy, and under his beard smiled wantonly, but hockey was hard to hide in his eyes. Luo Feng was also very nervous when he saw Roger, and tried not to let himself be affected. This is One Piece. If it wasn't because of illness that he had not lived for a long time, what a hockey he should be. Finally, what else do you have to say? Luo Feng tried to calm down and said something as usual. Help me remove this, itching can't stand it. Roger said, looking at him. This can't be done. Luo Feng shook his head. How could I run away? Roger didn't mean to untie him, didn't force it, and sat forward. What? It's boring. Come on, get it done. Luo Feng walked over with the other person, raised the execution knife and crossed them, preparing to execute the sentence. As a traverser, Luo Feng knows that there should be someone who orally opened up, the era of the great pirates to speak. Hey, One Piece, where did you hide the treasure you found? Are you on the great route? You got it, the legendary great secret treasure. Under the execution stage, a square-faced uncle shouted vigorously. You shut up. Marine told the uncle to shut up. Uncle Fang Lien was in the air and continued to shout. That one-of-a-kind big secret treasure. One Piece. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. Roger, who was sitting on the execution platform, laughed and said the words that made all the pirates crazy. Do you want my treasure? I can give it to you if you want it. Go and find it. I will put all the treasure there. Execution. An urgent order came. Luo Feng raised a knife with another execution officer. Pierce. The blood spread, and Roger finished with a smile on his face. The audience in the audience seemed to be still. 10 seconds after holding his breath. Shouting overwhelmingly. The pirates below cheered, embraced, and some quietly left. Marine was dumbfounded, originally a very deterrent execution. In the end, earth-shaking changes have taken place because of one sentence. Marshal Sengoku and others were even more ugly. The era of the great pirates has officially opened. The big era begins and Roger ends. Headquarters Marine is also preparing to return to Marineford. Back in the room, Luo Feng was even more excited than the pirates. Reward for the execution of One Piece. The system mechanical sound unexpectedly prompts. Congratulations to host for executing the One Piece King Roger D. Roger, all abilities have been improved. Acquired Conqueror's Haki, Devil Fruit, Logia, Thunder, Devil Fruit, Paramesha, Rusty Fruit, Devil Fruit, Eudemon's System, Big Buddha Fruit. Physical stamina increased to 5,000. New skill, One Sword Flow. God avoids. Host can view the system panel by itself. Quote, Luo Feng was stunned, followed by an ecstasy. He felt his own strength was constantly improving. Physical fitness is a specific number of speed power. Garp in this era is about 5,000. 3 Devil Fruit, Logia, Eudemons, and Paramesha. Add Conqueror's Haki. Luo Feng's strength is already at the pinnacle of Marine and Pirates. After the excitement, Luo Feng took a deep breath and thought about it. The strength of self-protection is now there. But in this world, there are ancient weapon, World ZF and so on. People like Garp, Roger, Whitebeard and others have not changed anything. What's more, the extremely powerful Rocks Pirate was also defeated. The hands are hard to block the 4 legs, and you can't wave. Luo Feng was immersed in his mind and opened the system panel. Host. Luo Feng. Weapon. Top execution knife produced by the system. Skills. Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle cut top level 1 sword style. Divine avoidance primary. Ability. Observation Haki top level armament Haki top level Conqueror's Haki premium level. Fitness. 5,000 5,000ths. System space. Devil Fruit. Paramesha. Barrier. Devil Fruit. Logia. Thunder. Devil Fruit. Paramesha. Rusty Fruit. Devil Fruit. Fantasy Beast System. Big Buddha Fruit. There are 4 unused devil fruits. This is a logia similar to Thunder Fruit's ability. Thunder, thunder of punishment. It fits Luo Fang's position as an execution officer. It is still in Log Town, and the environment today is not suitable for using devil fruit, so as not to cause any disturbance. At this time, the observation hockey distributed by Luo Feng felt that someone was walking in the corridor. Report. Luo Feng opened the door, but it was the seaman. The sea soldier looked at Luo Feng, he was shocked, and quickly saluted. I feel that Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior grade is different, and the momentum is very sharp. Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior grade, convened in the Kong Martial Conference Hall. Okay, hard work. Luo Feng's reaction to him was in sight. Just got conquerors, there is still a bit of hockey side leakage. After finishing his uniform, he followed the seaman to the conference hall. Long conference table. Marshal Kong with a mountain-shaped hairstyle and a scar on his left eye is sitting in the main seat in the middle. Garp, Sengoku, Crane, Zephyr, etc. are all here to participate in the meeting. There are also many Marines above Lieutenant Junior grade. Luo Feng saluted and stood silently in the corner. He is now one of the lowest ranks in this conference. After a while, almost all Marine officers in Log Town gathered here. The atmosphere is serious and silent. Everyone understands that Marine has lost his face this time. Marshal Kong, the words that Roger had before his death will soon spread throughout the world. The Crane staff looked at Marshal Kong. Those crazy pirates are afraid too. Marshal Kong waved his hand, stood up, and said solemnly on his face. Since it has happened, we must be prepared. Although Marine was embarrassed this time, he still executed Roger. The crew on Roger's ship will also continue to hunt. Everyone, I want to say another thing. Roger, there may be blood. Everyone is shocked. Marshal Sora motioned to a vice admiral next to him. Vice Admiral stood up and continued. According to the news from CP, Roger had reached Baterla Island before surrendering himself. Roger was captured by our army only after staying for a year. Various discussions began to appear in the conference room. Marshal Sora looked around. Regardless of whether there is or not, we have to make sure, send someone to Baterla Island, pregnant women, etc., we have to check. Luo Feng was looking at Garp, who was sitting in the upper position with his eyes flashing. He knew that Roger had told Garp. He entrusted his unborn child, Huaquan Ace, to Garp. Next, Garp should go to Batalila. Luo Feng thinks of Ace's mother, Portgas D. Rouge. A great mother who had been pregnant with Ace for 20 months in order to protect her child, and died of exhaustion after giving birth. The meeting ended soon. In addition to coping with the coming era of the great pirates and Roger's legacy, it is the promotion and transfer of personnel. Luo Feng was unexpectedly transferred to Impel Down Prison. The execution Roger also allowed him to be promoted to 2 consecutive ranks and became a major. Luo Feng didn't have much to take, and he planned to go back with the warship heading to the headquarters. Wait until the official appointment documents are down before going to Impel Down. The setting sun was shining on the avenue leading to the pier on the square. Luo Feng had changed into a white marine suit and followed the crowd alone. There are few people in the special department, and as an execution officer, I haven't met any friends. At this time, a sound of footsteps came from the rear. Ms. Zephyr, don't we really go to Log Town and go around? A group of young Marines followed Zephyr with purple hair and glasses. I brought you here just to show you, not for fun. Zephyr of this era is still very strong, wearing glasses is very instructor temperament. Young people, the holiday is over. You are all Marines' future, so you can't slack off. Talk while walking. When passing by Luo Feng, he looked at each other. The look in the eyes of this Lieutenant Junior grade is unusual. Zephyr thought about it for a moment. It is the execution officer on the execution stage. Lieutenant Junior grade, are you an execution officer? What's your name? Zephyr turned and stopped. Report Zephyr instructor, Lieutenant Junior grade Luo Feng. Under the execution department. Luo Feng was also surprised. With so many people on the road, Zephyr would stop and talk to him. The young Marine in the rear also recognized Luo Feng on the execution stage, and could not help exclaiming. This is considered to be the person who killed the One Piece by himself. Roger's aura is uncomfortable, young man. You are very good. Zephyr said thoughtfully with inexplicable eyes. As Garp Sengoku's contemporaneous powerhouse, he still has a keen sense. For a moment when he looked at each other, his eyes were unusual. Zephyr instructor, thank you for your compliment. Luo Feng touched his head, pretending to be embarrassed. Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior Grade, also go back to the headquarters, come with me. On the avenue, Zephyr did not continue to talk. Instead, an invitation was sent to Luo Feng. Yes, Luo Feng saluted and responded. Zephyr, as the former Admiral of Marine, is not easy to refuse. It's the same as which ship goes back anyway. He also wondered, did Zephyr's hatred of pirates make him more friendly to execution officers? The setting sun has fallen, and darkness has descended. The warship sailed on the sea. Ever since Zephyr's wife and children were killed by pirates, Ishin pounced on training young Marines. Luo Feng remembered that in One Piece, Zephyr would be cut off by Whitebeard too. After that, he became Z and created a new Marine in an attempt to destroy the New World. Looking at Zephyr, who is teaching Marine 6 styles to young recruits, Luo Feng sighed a little. Zephyr explained intently. Shave, step on the ground continuously at high speed to produce explosive reaction force to do high-speed movement skills. Luo Feng is not interested in the 6 style lectures. His Marine 6 styles has already reached the top. Turned around and walked to the deck. The harsh sea breeze was blowing, and the moonlight was shining on the boat. Are you not interested in my lecture? Zephyr suddenly walked out. No, it's not, Zephyr instructor, I practice 6 forms every day. Yes, you are not a recruit anymore, you are an experienced Lieutenant Junior Grade Execution Officer. Zephyr looked at the sea and said, what do you think of pirates? This question stunned Luo Feng at once. Not all of the pirates are vicious. Luo Feng replied softly, ha ha ha, I thought you would hate pirates when you were an execution officer. Zephyr laughed loudly. To execute a person who has committed an unforgivable crime, this is the execution officer. Luo Feng said to Zephyr very seriously. Wow. Zephyr nodded and turned around. Go back and have 2 drinks. Zephyr greeted with a gentle smile. Zephyr is a far cry from the future generations. Luo Feng followed Zephyr in. The chef prepared the food. Zephyr took out a large barrel of wine and greeted Luo Feng with a smile. The young Marines also gathered around to eat and drink. The atmosphere began to be cheerful. Luo Feng looked at these newly born Marines. There is an impression in One Piece. Funny shrugging boy, Bins. By the way, what's your name? Luo Feng looked at the girl with light blue hair and asked. Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior Grade, I am Ain, please advise me a lot in the future. Suddenly, Luo Feng was the 2 men behind Zephyr. Smoker is not there. Are you interested in working in a branch or headquarters? Luo Feng was surprised that Zephyr wanted to recommend him. Thank you Zephyr instructor for your kindness, Luo Feng just wants to be an execution officer. Luo Feng shook his head and refused. That's really a pity, I am very optimistic about your kid. Zephyr regretted, and didn't force it anymore. The 2 chatted about other issues. After Roger was executed, world government and Marine are looking for Roger's crew all over the world. It seems that a crew of One Piece has been caught. The recruit training warship is heading towards Marineford on the Grand Line. Luo Feng followed Zephyr and watched the recruits receive training. Occasionally teach Marine 6 styles instead of Zephyr. It's okay to tease Hina and Ain, who are still little girls. The days are not boring. Just after sailing for less than half a month, the uninvited guest appeared. Ms. Zephyr, there is a pirate ship approaching in front. The sentry on the mast reported loudly. Zephyr and Luo Feng walked out of the deck. If it is an ordinary pirate, seeing the warship from a distance has long turned around and ran away. The pirates who dared to continue to lean over were afraid it would be a stubbornness. Zephyr was also solemn, yelling, everyone is ready to fight. Luo Feng looked at the pirate ship in the distance. On the skull, Whitebeard bent up, pirate flag with 2 yellow whips. It was claimed to be Whitebeard too, the son of Whitebeard. Edward Weevil. Luo Feng was a little confused, but Whitebeard too actually appeared. That is, Zephyr will be cut off by his right arm. The people in this ship will be killed by him, leaving only Zephyr, Ain, and Bins to survive. Luo Feng narrowed his eyes. There is also little Hina on the boat. With me here, how can you succeed? In order to hide, I had prepared to put a black robe in the bag. Let's see, the execution of Whitebeard 2 will reward something good. It's Edward Weevil who calls himself Whitebeard 2. You can already see people standing on the pirate ship. A burly, fat body. The upper body is a lot of flesh, but the feet are very thin, the sides are braided, and the white beard. Holding the same big knife as Whitebeard. Weevil. Next to him is Miss Ba Jin, who is short and wrinkled in a leopard print coat. There are dozens of pirates behind. It's a training boat, son, destroy them. Miss Ba Jin smiled cruelly. Okay, Mom, Weevil answered in a naive way. Jump and take the lead to kill. He attacked Zephyr on the warship. The recruits were shocked. Who is this? Just do it. Humph. Black arm Zephyr covers hockey on his hands. Hit it with one punch. The deck split instantly, and the hull shook. Strong strength. The punches separated, and Zephyr raised his right fist and attacked it. The group of recruits at the back were dumbfounded. For the first time, they saw Teacher Zephyr explode with a powerful aura to fight the enemy. However, Luo Feng thoughtfully watched the two fight against each other. Zephyr, it seems that his body is not normal. How could Admiral's strength be evenly matched by the young Whitebeard too? No wonder the right arm will be chopped off. The pirate ship at sea is about to approach, and Miss Beijing and Xiao Yu will be constrained. Zephyr is pinned down and will really lose. Luo Feng was thinking. Miss Ba Jin rushed up with a dozen pirates. Who are you? I am Whitebeard's son, Edward Weevil. The silly Weevil said loudly. Whitebeard's son. Zephyr was taken aback. Isn't Whitebeard the son of a ship? He is Whitebeard's biological son, and I am Miss Ba Jin, Whitebeard's favorite woman. The ugly Miss Ba Jin sneered. No matter whose son you are, this is the marine warship, you pirates dare to send it up. Zephyr and Weevil faced each other again, and a strong wind was set off. Little ones, come on. Miss Ba Jin commanded. More than 20 recruits faced more than a dozen pirates. The two sides fought together, shooting, knife juggling. After all, they are cruel pirates. The recruits soon suffered casualties and screams kept ringing. Luo Feng tugged at the terrified little Hina who was trembling. A machete just slashed to the original position of little Hina. Luo Feng kicked it flying. Such a small child is not merciful. Luo Feng gritted his teeth and seemed to find a chance to hide his identity and make a move. There is it. Luo Feng thought of a way that was not the way. Pretending to be beaten into the cabin and fainted. No one will notice in the fierce battle. Now the two sides are fighting together in chaos. Zephyr and Weevil fought more intensely. Taking this opportunity, Luo Feng rushed to Weevil, pretending to attack. Weevil was playing fiercely, and found a marine rushing over and kicked. Luo Feng was kicked into the cabin. Luo Feng. Zephyr was angry. This armed kick, don't let anything go wrong. Of course Luo Feng is okay, this angle is deliberately controlled by him. After crashing in, I couldn't see clearly outside. Good chance. Get up and rub the kicked shoulder. Quickly ran to his room. Take out a large and long black robe in his bag. After putting it on, he disguised himself and took off his shoes carefully. Then bypassed the front deck, pretending to jump onto the boat from the sea. Zephyr was evenly matched, and now he was breathing slightly. Weevil didn't look exhausted, he was full of momentum. Mom, he is tired. Weevil sneered and mocked. My dear son, stop playing, kill him. Miss Ba Jin is cautious. After all, it is marine. What if the delay comes to support? Good mother. Weevil swung his sword, slashing out. Zephyr crossed his hands to block. Weevil jumped up. The knife in both hands is slashed at Zephyr's head. Zephyr folded his hands, his pupils contracted, and his body ducked to the left. If this knife can't stop, the right arm is really gone. At this time, a hoarse voice sounded next to him. One sword flow, God avoid. Luo Feng, who was shrouded in black robe, came to Zephyr in an instant. Holding the picked long knife in his right hand, he hacked Weevil's knife from bottom to top. The long knife is covered with red and black, and the blade has not touched Weevil's big knife. In an instant, Weevil was slashed by Luo Feng's long sword full of conquerors and armed colors. Zephyr was dumbfounded. How could it be, conquerors? Roger's divine avoidance. Luo Feng snorted and said hoarsely, I'm not Roger, just passing by. At this time, The flying Weevil jumped on the warship again and shouted anxiously. Mom, Mom, let's run away, we can't beat it. Miss Ba Jin was also dumbfounded. The mysterious black-robed man slashed Weevil out with a single knife. Escape, have you escaped? Luo Feng held a knife, and a hockey broke out against the pirates. The pirates who were still fighting the recruit fainted instantly. The recruits opened their eyes wide and were shocked. Is this what the teacher said about Conqueror's hockey? Just standing there, these ferocious pirates fell. It's your turn. Luo Feng faced Weevil and disappeared instantly. Eagle slash. The knife light slashed down diagonally from above. Weevil was shocked. The knife was full of powerful hockey and couldn't escape. Raise the big knife with both hands to try to block it. Luo Feng's momentum is unabated. Chopped off. The ordinary long knife picked up at random was torn apart. A blood line appeared from Weevil's left shoulder to his right foot. Mom, Mom, I blocked it. Crashed down. Luo Feng's eyes under the black robe looked at the remaining Miss Ba Jin. The ugly woman has gone from shock to despair. She knew Weevil's strength. This mysterious man killed Weevil with 2 swords. This is Whitebeard's own son. Ah, Miss Ba Jin collapsed and shouted, seemingly nervous. I won't kill the mad woman, and go. Without looking back, Luo Feng jumped off the boat. Pretend to have gone from the sea. Zephyr and a group of recruits are still in shock. Zephyr is still thinking about who this person is. No, I seem to have forgotten something. Suddenly wake up. Quickly, go and see how Luo Feng is going. Zephyr remembered that Luo Feng just wanted to help him and was kicked under the cabin. Luo Feng sneaked back to the cabin. Hastily took off the black robe and hid it, and put on his shoes. Back to the original position, pretending to be dizzy for a long time. Did they forget me? Luo Feng, are you all right? Ain and Hina ran over. Support Luo Feng. Zephyr followed. Luo Feng just pretended to wake up at this time, shaking his shoulders. I was kicked into the air. Zephyr instructor is all right. It's okay. Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior Grade, a mysterious man in a black robe saved us. I'm fine, Weevil is dead, and the rest have been captured alive. Zephyr was relieved to see that Luo Feng was okay. Wrong. Zephyr looked at Luo Feng who was being supported from behind. Thinking of the mysterious black-robed man in a flash in the pan, he was barefoot. And Luo Feng's shoes are reversed. The captives were dealt with and the wounded were treated. The recruits proceeded in an orderly manner. Luo Feng was also taken off by Ain, revealing his powerful muscles. The shoulders were red, and the back was scratched by the impact. Luo Feng Lieutenant Junior Grade also looks very strong. Ain covered his mouth and smiled, took the potion and applied it. Luo Feng twitched the corner of his mouth. It's not Lieutenant Junior Grade now. Zephyr, who called the bug report inside, walked out wearing glasses. It's time to call Major Luo Feng. Zephyr narrowed his eyes and gave a meaningful smile. Luo Feng shrank his head. This old man, wouldn't he see that something was coming? Wow, that's amazing, Major Luo Feng. Ain's eyes were bright, and he was promoted. It's normal to execute one of the most famous people in the world. Luo Feng waved his hand and laughed. Are the compliments in this One Piece world so straightforward? Really sorry, your appointment has been down. There will be marine warships waiting for us to hand over criminals. Zephyr sat aside. A medical soldier was applying medicine to him. You can follow that warship to Impel down prison. Is that so? Okay. Luo Feng nodded. Is Major Luo Feng going to part with us? I really can't bear it. Ain likes Luo Feng very much, and often joins Luo Feng on the boat. But Zephyr looked at Luo Feng. The more you look, the more suspicious. The height under the black robe, the bare feet and the shoes that I wore when I saw Luo Feng. Luo Feng felt Zephyr's gaze. Don't care, you have no evidence, old man, and I won't admit it. Luo Feng, who do you think this black-robed man will be? Zephyr asked suddenly. Teacher Zephyr, I didn't see it, let alone hide your identity under the black robe. Yes, I forgot that you were always there, fainted. Zephyr pointedly said, emphatically mentioned, dizzy. Yeah, you'll be fine when you wake up in a daze. In other words, this Weevil is so strong that he can fight fiercely with the former teacher Admiral Zephyr. Quote. Luo Feng changed the subject. It is very strong, but there is still a gap with Admiral. Zephyr nodded. Then why? You want to say why I haven't played? I don't want to talk about this matter either. In short, I have been seriously injured, so my strength has declined. Zephyr took off his glasses and rubbed it. When Luo Feng saw that he didn't want to mention it, he didn't follow up. The wounded was treated. The group began to rest. Luo Feng checked the reward for executing Weevil. System prompt. Execute the ruthless and cruel pirate, Weevil. Physical fitness increased by 30. Rewards. Skills, Soul Sword, Devil Fruit. Stealth. Devil Fruit. Paramesha. Invisible. Acquired Brook's special swordsmanship skill, Soul Sword. I really want to do what I want. Stealth has a great effect on Luo Feng, who hides his strength. Luo Feng was excited and asked in his mind. System, how can it be improved by 200? Host stamina reaches 5,000, and the increase in stamina will continue to decline. Luo Feng suddenly realized, the higher the level, the less experience you gain. Open the system panel. Host. Luo Feng. Weapon. Top execution knife produced by the system. Skills. Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle cut top level 1 sword style. Divine avoidance primary, soul of lost sword intermediate. Ability. Observation hockey top level armament hockey top level conqueror's hockey premium level. Physical fitness. 5,200 5,200s. System space. Devil fruit. Paramesha. Barrier fruit. Devil fruit. Logia. Thunder. Devil fruit. Paramesha. Rusty fruit. Devil fruit. Eudemons. Big Buddha fruit. Devil fruit. Paramesha. Stealth fruit. When it comes to Impel down, eat devil fruit. Luo Feng was excited. One day has passed. In the eyes of Zephyr Jr., Hina, Ain and others, Luo Feng boarded another warship and went to Impel down to report his duties. At this time, Impel down is not far away. Golden Lion Shiki is now Impel down. Luo Feng groaned, remembering that he had just passed through the battle that I saw with my own eyes. After Roger surrendered, 1 week before the public execution. It was raining heavily in the sky, and the headquarters alarm sounded. With 2 famous knives in Shiki's hands, he drove into Marineford alone. He could not accept the fact that Roger was arrested. It is even more unacceptable that Roger, as the One Piece King, will be publicly executed in the weakest East Blue. An angry Shiki controlled the huge warship and smashed it at Marineford. Sengoku, in the form of a giant Buddha, fought hard to resist. Tekken Garp stepped forward to fight Shiki in close quarters. This battle at the peak of the battle drove the town of Marineford to ruins. The naval headquarters was in a mess, and many marine officers looked sluggish. The Golden Lion was finally captured alive by Garp and Sengoku and thrown into the Impel down underwater prison. Luo Feng was shocked and dumbfounded. Luo Feng looked into the distance, putting away his thoughts. Now he is no longer weaker than Golden Lion. Sailed for a day. Luo Feng saw a huge tower built from the bottom of the sea, towering above the sea. Impel down, the great prison under the sea. After entering from the huge sea gate, the warship stopped at the port of Impel down. Luo Feng and the Marines escorted Miss Ba Jin, who was holding their heads together, off the ship. 1 floor above the sea. Suru Des, who was short and only 2 heads tall. The jailer and the head of the jailer Balanji, a strong man who is more than 3 meters tall, are waiting. See Luo Feng came with a dozen criminals. I have seen Major Luo Feng, welcome to come. The 2 salute. Luo Feng also returned a gift. After waiting for 2 people for a long time, they will become colleagues in the future. The 2 smiled and nodded, and Sarudias and the jailer detained the prisoner. Berenjay stepped forward and said, Your Excellency Luo Feng, the warden is resting. Let me first take you to the great undersea prison. Luo Feng didn't feel tired either. Nodded in agreement. Berenjay walked forward with him, and pointed to the residential area in front of him. Your Excellency Luo Feng's room is on the 1st floor of the sea, and you will be notified if there is a penalty mission. Then walked in the other direction. Here is the elevator leading down. Get on the elevator. Luo Feng followed Balanji. On the 1st floor, Crimson Hell. Guarded by blue gorillas, the crimes of the prisoners held here are less serious. There is a large area like a forest outside the cell. Seeing the appearance of a school-level marine, the prisoners did not dare to speak out. Luo Feng shook his head. According to One Piece in the previous life, he knew the general situation of Impel Down. So he asked Berenjay, I heard that 2 big pirates came in Impel Down, can you go and see? Ballinger was shocked. Unexpectedly, Luo Feng would go to see the legendary big pirate. You are talking about the crew of One Piece and the legendary pirate, Golden Lion. Luo Feng nodded. At this time, the 2 strongest people imprisoned by Impel Down. Golden Lion, Shiki, Douglas, Bullet, this. Berenjay hesitated. He didn't want to face those 2 monsters. At this time, a man with a prajna face, a pharaoh-style headdress, and a big belly came over. Hannibal, Luo Feng could tell at a glance. Berenjay was worried that he didn't want to go to places like the 6th underground floor. Hannibal is here, immediately shouted. Hannibal Chief Warden. Hannibal walked up with a big belly. Seeing Luo Feng wearing the uniform of the school officer, he couldn't help but yelled something. I really want to be promoted. Luo Feng and Berenjay have black lines. Ah, no, Hannibal saluted. The execution officer who executed One Piece, His Excellency Luo Feng. I am the guard of Hannibal. Hello, Hannibal, can you take me to the 6th floor? Yes, you come with me. Hannibal didn't resist. All the way down, there are 6 floors under the sea. I won't go in, Lord Luo Feng. Seeing them, Luo Feng was also reluctant to face criminals on the 6th floor. He didn't force it, and walked over by himself. On the 6th floor, there is a suffocating qi and blood that is difficult to dissipate. The light was dim, and there was darkness in every cell. Oh, a major came down to see us. Hee laughter echoed. Luo Feng's face was calm. The 6th floor is different from the prisoners held on the upper floors. The prisoners on the upper floors are to be tortured and tortured. It even accepts human trials. The 6th floor is a special VIP cell. Because the prisoners held here are too powerful. As long as they have the ability to act, it may cause potential dangers. So they don't have to do anything, everyone is still in a private room. Without seeing other people, Luo Feng continued to walk forward. There are not many prisoners on the 6th floor, and many cells are empty. In one of the rooms, Luo Feng saw the source of his words. He is strong, with his hands and feet handcuffed by sea stone, sitting on the ground with an ironic smile. Who are you? Luo Feng said softly. From the big pirate in North Blue, Jace. Ha ha ha. The strong man laughed. I don't know, unknown people. Luo Feng said lightly. Jace's pupils contracted and his face looked fierce. The big pirate offering a reward of 700 million said he didn't even know. He hates this kind of indifferent guy the most. Luo Feng smiled and moved on. He needs to be properly stimulated and something can be done before he can be executed. Past Jace, behind the 2 prison doors. Luo Feng saw the Golden Lion lying on the ground with his hands and feet handcuffed by sea stone. There is still bloodline on his face. Why did a major appear here? Roger is dead. Shiki finally changed. Dead. He opened the era of big pirates, and today the number of pirates has increased dramatically. Really? Why are you here to tell me? I'm the execution officer, Roger, executed by me, a major. Luo Feng smiled and spoke very loudly. If you don't excite, how can you have the opportunity to execute punishment on these 2 men? Shiki originally came out after 2 years. A major, executed Roger, and appeared in front of you. Nani. Jace heard the riot, and a major executed Roger. Luo Feng saw the Golden Lion stay there and did not speak. Turned and left. Shiki, should he come out early with a broken leg, right? Take me to see the warden, Hannibal. When Hannibal saw Luo Feng came out soon, he was also shocked by those monsters. The warden is still resting. His Excellency Luo Feng will go to the room and rest for a while. Hannibal explained. Also, all the way back to the 1st floor of the sea. Hannibal still had a job but the jailer took Luo Feng to the assigned room. The room is not very big and the daily necessities are all complete. Luo Feng started by seeing and hearing color. There was no one nearby except the guard jailer. Then start using devil fruit. Luo Feng waved his hand, and the fruit of the system space appeared on the table. Thunder, Rust, Barrier, Invisible, Big Buddha. 5 fruits of various shapes. System, if I can eat it all, there will be more fruit power, right? Certainly. Under the affirmation of the system, Luo Feng was very excited. Who doesn't want to have the multi-fruit ability? Without a thought in his mouth, Luo Feng picked up the first invisible fruit and gnawed it away in twos. I don't seem to feel anything in my body. Luo Feng's fingers overlapped, and a transparent barrier appeared in front of his eyes. The second, Luo Feng picked up the big Buddha fruit and swallowed it again. At this time, I clearly felt a burst of energy appearing in the body as the fruit was swallowed. Arouse that ability and feel like you will be transformed into the form of a big Buddha. You can't transform here yet. Sengoku's ability suddenly appears in Impel down, so it won't explode. Luo Feng resisted the idea of giving it a try and asked the system. System, can I use multiple fruit abilities at the same time? Of course, you need to be proficient in Host's own master. Luo Feng really nodded like that. Get a hidden Buddha. One palm goes all the way to sparks and lightning. While thinking about how to use multiple abilities, he gnawed off the 3 devil fruits on the table. The rusty fruit can rust and rot the objects in contact. This ability is very useful against swordsmen. Stealth fruit, there is no need to explain this, stealth. Thunder fruit, Logia ability. Become thunder and lightning. The 3 abilities entered Luo Feng's body. A blue arc flashed in Luo Feng's eyes. A tingling sensation spread from the eyes to the whole body. An arc of light flashed around Luo Feng's skin. Next. Nothing feels anymore, and the vision in my body has stopped. Luo Feng was a little stunned. What's the situation? Paramesha did not move normally. Didn't Logia devil fruit move? Luo Feng stretched out his finger and moved a little to the ground. A ray of lightning hit the ground instantly. Boom. The floor shattered and it was charred. Successful. Luo Feng looked happy. Take out your execution knife. Paddle to the left. The arm was automated as Liguang, and the knife passed through it. Thunder. Luo Feng's whole person turned into a ball of thunder. Then the thunder light disappeared without a trace, invisible. Over Impel down, lightning flashed. I become a beam of light, moving at a speed like an instant. Luo Feng, the humanoid thunder and lightning, laughed loudly. Flying around in the air. To be precise, it flashes back and forth, and the naked eye can't keep up. After playing for a while, he instantly returned to the room and turned into a real entity. Maybe the physique is strong, and the fruit ability has been developed a lot. The sense of control is getting clearer and clearer. Luo Feng immersed himself in his mind and opened the system panel. Host. Luo Feng. Weapon. Top execution knife produced by the system. Skills. Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle cut top level 1 sword style. Divine avoidance primary Kongyun cut intermediate. Lightning, barrier, stealth. Ability. Observation hockey top level armament hockey top level conqueror's hockey premium level. Thunder fruit unawakened big Buddha fruit unawakened. Barrier fruit unawakened stealth fruit unawakened rusty fruit unawakened. Physical fitness. 5,200 5,200. System space. None. Devil fruit has all turned into strength. Luo Feng nodded in satisfaction. Next, it was how to open the back door for Golden Lion Shiki, prompting him to escape from prison in advance. Your Excellency Luo Feng, the deputy warden is awake, please go over and report on your work. Ballinger knocked on the door. Okay. Luo Feng stood up and put on a cloak of justice. Excuse me, Lord Luo Feng, the warden is not here, and the deputy warden Magellan has been sleeping for a long time and only works 4 hours a day. Berenjay explained with a smile. It's okay, don't worry. Luo Feng followed him to the elevator. Clang. The elevator began to sink. Through the elevator fence, there was a scream. It's torture time. Your Excellency Luo Feng can enjoy the screams of criminals. Berenjay said with joy on his face. Luo Feng looked speechless. Am I the pervert who enjoys screaming? You are the one who enjoys pervert. The elevator sinks slowly, the second and third floors. They are all torturing prisoners. Kang dang. The 4th floor blazing hell is here. The heat wave is rolling in, like a huge boiler, with hot air rising in the middle. Please come here, Berenj directed. Luo Feng couldn't help but look left and right. Came to the deputy warden's office. The surrounding jailer handed over a gas mask. Ah, Thank you. Luo Feng was shocked before reacting. Magellan, the ability to poison fruit, is a poisonous person. The breath that comes out is poisonous. The two put on gas masks and knocked on the door. Come in. Walked in. Sitting at the desk, Magellan, a huge, Satan-like Magellan, was looking down at the document. If you want a dark closed space, if you can, it's better to close your mind together. Ah, welcome Major Luo Feng. Quote, Magellan stood up, almost 5 meters tall and about the same size as Luo Feng's palm. Hello, Deputy Warden Magellan. Luo Feng has a black line on his face, it really is this mantra. Give the marine file to Magellan. Magellan took it over and took a look, then nodded. Major Luo Feng, you are welcome to officially settle in Impel down as execution officer. Usually you can look around here, and a list of prisoners to be executed will be sent to you. Magellan paused and continued. Generally, there will be no prisoners who need you to be executed on the first 3 levels. Your executions are all on the lower 3 levels. Luo Feng nodded. Then I will wait for your list. Magellan just wanted to say something, suddenly his face seemed to be constipated. Balanji quickly pulled Luo Feng out. Luo Feng is also suddenly. This Magellan is poisonous to eat, often diarrhea. After walking out, Luo Feng was thinking about how to escape the Golden Lion so that he could be executed. How about giving him the whole key? Yes, steal the key. And Jace, neither of these are good people. The Golden Lion attacked Marineford, and the Marines who died under him were piled up. Jace even massacred at sea. Execution as early as possible to promote yourself. Thinking about it, I went to the Hannibal who wanted to be promoted and went crazy. See where the key is on the 6th underground floor. On the other side, Marineford. Naval Headquarters, Marshal's office. Arranged for recruit Zephyr to push in. Marshal Sora, Sengoku, and Kizaru, who is about to become admiral. Sengoku ate the senbei and smiled. Hey, Zephyr, are you not injured? Marshal Kong asked when he saw Zephyr. It's okay, it's really dangerous this time. These young Marines were almost killed by the pirates. Zephyr shook his head and sat next to Sengoku. After pondering for a while, he continued. This time a mysterious black-robed man saved me. Black-robed man, Sengoku said vaguely while biting in his mouth. Well, the whole body is covered in black robe. Black robe, is it the revolutionary who has appeared everywhere in the world against the world ZF? Marshal Sora was guessing. It should not be. Zephyr shook his head. Conqueror's haki is very strong. Marshal Sora stood up immediately, a little shocked. Conqueror's haki. Zephyr looked at Marshal Sora and continued. More than that, the mysterious black-robed man also resorted to it, God avoids. Click. The Sengoku beside him was stunned, and unconsciously crushed the senbei in his hand. Even Kizaru opened his mouth in shock. Impossible. As Roger's old opponent, Sengoku knew very well. Conquerors is not enough to use ecstasy. Perhaps, it's Roger's crew, Rayleigh and others. Rayleigh is definitely not in East Blue, the last time he appeared in the second half of the Grand Line. There are no other masters of swordsmanship. Marshal Sora rubbed his eyebrows. Recently it has been an eventful season. Pirates have grown wildly, the Revolutionary Army has appeared, and the crew of One Piece, there is another powerful mysterious man named Conquerors. Zephyr hesitated and didn't tell Luo Feng. Sengoku, on the side of O'Hara's omniscient book, the meaning of 5 elders has already come. Marshal Sora looked at Sengoku and said, destroy, destroy. Sengoku sighed and said nothing. I'm about to be the commander-in-chief of the army, Sengoku will be Marine Marshal, Zephyr, come back and continue to be Admiral. Marshal Sora issued an invitation. Zephyr shook his head. I'm no longer suitable to be an Admiral, let's continue to be a Marine instructor. After the report was over, Zephyr said goodbye and went back. In the Marshal's room, Kizaru looked listless in his clothes. Kong frowned tightly. Sengoku is still talking about the mysterious man in black robe. Impel down. Crimson Hell on the first floor. Hannibal was watching the screen of the surveillance bug. Luo Feng next to him dangled Erlang's legs. Hannibal, why do you keep torturing these prisoners? If you commit a crime, of course you have to be punished. Hannibal is a little depressed. Luo Feng has been here for a long time. There was a mess of questions that were asked differently. The execution officer is so idle. What does the deputy warden mean when I said that the prisoners who executed the main sentence are in the lower 3 levels? I really want to be the warden. Ah, I have exposed my heart. Hannibal cried out again when he heard the words from the prison governor. Ahem, the prisoners on the first floor have no capital crimes, and the prisoners on the second and third floors are relatively weak and do not need His Excellency Luo Feng to act. Especially the criminals on the 6th floor, each of them is vicious and powerful, so they are all detained separately. Quote, why don't you let it out to torture? They are also criminals. Because they are too dangerous. It's so dangerous, don't the keys to imprison them have to be kept secretly? That's not necessary. I have a key on my body. Sometimes Marine needs to use it when he comes to mention someone. Hannibal flashed the keychain on his waist. Yes, this is Impel down hell, you don't have to go out if you have the key. Luo Feng smiled, I am not letting them out. I just want to do something to make it easier for me to take action. Come on, Shiki, Jace. I will send the keys to you. The night falls, and the moon hangs in the sky. The moon is black and the wind is high, killing the night. Luo Feng smiled and disappeared into the room using his invisibility ability. On the basement floor, in the guard's room. After working all day, Hannibal is about to go to sleep. Take off the odds and ends and put them on the table. Lie down on the bed with her upper body exposed. After a while, he snorted and went to sleep. Among the things on the table, the keychain floated without making any sound. Then disappeared out of thin air. A tiny electric light flashed away. Luo Feng, who was invisible, came to the elevator and turned into thunder and drilled in. The jailer standing nearby did not respond. 6 floors. Wireless hell. Golden Lion Shiki had sat up and shook his head. Jace was doing push-ups in seastone handcuffs, ha 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 ha. Isn't there something wrong with this guy? What else do you exercise in the middle of the night? Ding, a clear iron falling sound. Jace froze for a moment. Not far from the cell door, something seemed to have fallen. He looked at the things on the ground suspiciously, a little dumbfounded. This thing is so long like a key. Slowly did 2 more push-ups before reacting. It's the key. Jace in seastone handcuffs opened his eyes round. Extend your hand vigorously. Almost. For a long time, after rubbing the bleeding skin with my hands, I finally got my hands. Turn it on with the key and open it. On Shiki's side, Luo Feng threw the key directly on him. Ha, Nani, something. Shiki swept his backhand, and the key fell out of the door with a ding sound. Luo Feng, who was invisible, was almost struck by a thunder and lightning. You gave you the key and you swept it away. Ah, it's the key. Shiki only reacted now. Out of reach, Shiki was a little bit tearful. Hey, Golden Lion, is this what you want? A figure came over and picked up the key. Jace. Shiki laughed and laughed loudly. Jace threw the key in. Golden Lion opened the seastone handcuffs. Walked out with a smile. Although I don't know how the key appeared, it doesn't matter, kill it. Above, Jace was spotted by the surveillance bug as soon as he stepped out of the door and issued an alarm. The warden and the jailer assembled quickly. Magellan brought Hannibal, who hurried over, and gathered with the guards and the chief jailer. Why did the 6-story prison gate open? Magellan gritted his teeth. The 2 big pirates came out very hard. Block them on the 6th floor and can't let them out. Shiryu, who is still the deputy chief of guard, said. Magellan nodded and quickly arranged. Hurry up and report to naval headquarters to send someone. Magellan told Hannibal. You all stay on top to block up, and I will go down with Shiryu. After speaking, the 2 jumped in from the elevator. Hannibal hadn't noticed that the key was missing in a hurry, so he quickly arranged manpower to deploy defenses in all directions. 6 floors. The 2 Magellan who had just come down met Golden Lion and Jace. Hey, I want to go out. Don't hinder me, Shiki yelled at them. You are criminals, so you should stay here. Poisonous gas began to erupt from Magellan. Rain Shiryu jumped away directly. The poison of this guy does not distinguish the enemy from us. Jace chuckled and chased Shiryu. Nani, Shiki looked miserable. Leave me the trickiest one. There is no other way but to fight. Luo Feng, who was hidden on the pillar, was also curious about how Golden Lion would deal with the poisonous man Magellan. Golden Lion Shiki didn't know where he got the cigar in his mouth. So troublesome. Without those two famous knives. Can only use ability and fist. Lion Majesty. Earth coiling. The rocks on the ground rolled up, forming a huge lion head, and rushed towards Magellan. Poisonous Dragon. Magellan released a three-headed dragon-shaped poisonous pear. Boom. Part of the stone slab shattered, and the poisonous dragon completely collapsed. The rest fell on Magellan, but it didn't cause much harm. Lion Majesty. Govern place earth coiling. Poison Dragon. One of them did not dare to go up, and the other did not dare to try the poison. The mage confronts. Luo Feng looked bored and turned to look at Jess. The young Yuji Shiryu is pretty good. Holding the famous knife. Thunderstorm, quickly issue the knife. Jace covered with arms and threw his fist. Your strength is still good, Shiryu. Jace smiled arrogantly, and struck out his right fist with all his strength. Shiryu of Rain couldn't dodge, and was directly knocked into the wall. Jace's armed color once again covered his fist, and the black was highlighted. You have no chance to play with me, you have to get out quickly. Jace goes all out. With a fist like a hurricane, Shiryu of Rain was obviously unable to withstand it. The beaten was dying. Jace ignored him, holding the famous knife Thunderstorm in his hand. Shiki and Magellan are still using their abilities repeatedly to fight, and the poison gas is spreading faster and faster. Shiki kept stepping back. Shiki. Jace threw a knife from afar. Oh, it's a knife. As soon as Shiki received the famous sword Thunderstorm, the armor color covered it. Your name is Magellan, I remember, the game is over. Slash wave. Shiki waved the long knife in his hand, and a huge yellow sword chi slashed over. Along the way, the enveloped poison gas was split apart. Magellan was shocked and jumped away in time. Boom. The knife cut into the wall next to the elevator. After the smoke and dust passed, huge cut marks remained on the wall. Poisonous Giant. In the dust, Magellan turned into a huge purple skull. Two giant hands appeared on the skull, Hell Judgment. The huge poisonous hand patted the past. Wow, wow. Although Shiki and Jess are strong, they are also afraid of this kind of poison. Hurriedly jumped away. Hey, Shiki, get rid of him quickly. We are in trouble when Marine comes. Jace said quickly while dodging. Jace, why don't you beat him? Shiki has a black line. It would be easy to deal with this poisonous man outside. But in this prison, many of his strengths are not available. Then let me come. Jace's eyes were wide open, his body muscles were violent, and his armed color covered his whole body. A black Jace appeared. Without fear of toxins, he rushed to Magellan's side, his arm hockey covered, and he punched it. Magellan couldn't dodge, and was directly fanned. The poisonous giant state disappeared. Jace didn't show any mercy, and rushed up again, hitting with punches. Magellan was able to resist at first, until he fainted directly after being hit by a frontal punch. Go. Jace walked to the elevator shaft and wanted to jump out. Boom. Jace flew out directly. Dressed in justice, Luo Feng with short black hair appeared at the well head. Ha ha ha, you escaped from prison. Then don't blame me for the execution. How happy are you when we escape from prison? Shiki took a closer look, dumbfounded. Isn't this the major? Luo Feng secretly stunned the surveillance insects. Seeing that Magellan and Shiryu are also fainting there, the jailer guards above will not come down. They executed them before Marine arrived. It's time to shoot. Golden Lion Shiki, who else? Your sins are enough to be executed. Luo Feng said softly. My name is Jace. Jace gritted his teeth. This person looks down on him at all. You will be the sinner I executed, and you, Shiki. Luo Feng points to Golden Lion Shiki. Speak up without shame. Shiki is very cautious. He felt danger in Luo Feng. Slash wave. Shiki's huge slash was used again. Luo Feng crossed his fingers and the barrier appeared in front of him. Boom. The light of the knife dissipated, unscathed. From the side, Jace punched it with a big hand. Luo Feng didn't rush, his arms covered in color, and he went up. Two punches against each other. Jace felt hammered on the diamond. Lightning flashed from the opponent's fist. Nani. Jace was numb all over by the electric, and quickly closed his hands. Jace and Shiki were shocked. He actually has two devil fruit abilities. How is it possible? 2 devil fruit abilities. Shiki's eyes stared out. What's impossible? Luo Feng smiled. Brontosaurus. With the palm of his hand facing Shiki, a thunder dragon came out and rushed over. How can this be? Jace was also completely sluggish. What kind of monster is this? Wandering in battle is not a good habit. Luo Feng didn't care how Shiki took the thunder dragon, and walked to Jace's side. Finger pistol. Lightning strike. Luo Feng uses 6 types to add lightning effects. The finger penetrated Jace's armed color, and an electric current was conducted in it. Kick off immediately. Hit the wall. Lion. 1000/Valley. Shiki dodges the thunder dragon, and then used several more powerful slashes. There was no time to dodge, facing the dense slashes. Luo Feng crossed his fingers again, and the barrier appeared. The sword chi kept cutting on it, one after another. Shiki kept swinging his knife below, and Jace slowed down. With a crazy shout, his figure started to become huge. Click. The barrier actually started to crack. Luo Feng couldn't help sighing. He deserves to be the golden lion who smashed into naval headquarters alone. He couldn't even hold the barrier fruit, and it looked like he could still slash for a long time while biting a cigar. Turning into thunder, Luo Feng turned into thunderlight and disappeared in place. The knife cut through the air, flew to the wall and exploded. Luo Feng flashed into the air. Golden Lion took a breath and looked at Jace, who was saving power. Are you done? Soon. Jace muffled and was not lightly charged. The figure grew bigger and bigger, and he almost stopped when he reached the pillars. Jace shouted. The muscles began to cover the armed color. Luo Feng looked at him calmly, and it seemed that Jace was going to work hard. Flip his hand. The execution knife produced by the system appeared in his hand. Execution knife with 1 meter long handle and 1 meter long blade. Kong Yun. Cut. Haki covered the blade, fell from the sky, and cut it off with both hands. Jace's huge fist smashed in the black light. Boom. The knives and fists met, and a wave of air spread. The surrounding stone slabs were lifted off. Golden Lion took the opportunity to step forward, and the black and red blade was cut to the side of Luo Feng. Covers Conqueror's armed slash. Seeing it can't dodge. Luo Feng's sword turned and blocked the Golden Lion's slash, but Jace's black fist directly hit Luo Feng's body below. Luo Feng flew upside down like a kite. There was a burst of thunder when it hit the wall. It's worthy of being a legendary pirate, so rich in combat experience. Luo Feng was a little bit painful after being hit. If you don't play with you, I won't be able to explain it when someone comes. Big Buddha form. Luo Feng turned into a giant Buddha as big as Jess became bigger. Shiki Kazuo was completely shocked. How could there be 2 big Buddha fruits? Surprised, even more surprised at the back. Luo Feng in the form of a big Buddha is different from Sengoku in that it is thinner. And thunder and lightning were wrapped around her golden body. With a big palm slapped at Jace, Jace woke up in shock. With a punch, the fists meet again. Jace's body was instantly wrapped in a huge white halo. The shock wave broke out. Thunder broke out. Rust ability to soak food. Since you are going all out, don't keep your hands. Jace fainted under the shock of thunder and lightning, and the black armed color rust on the surface dissipated. It's you, Shiki. Big Buddha Luo Feng turned his head. Shiki was completely shocked and confused. How is it possible? This completely breaks the previous law. Multiple fruit abilities can be used in combination. Shiki muttered, shocked, but there is no delay in his hands. The lion fruit ability is activated. The surrounding stone buildings turned into a lion head to pounce on Luo Feng. Nothing is impossible, Shiki. Luo Feng aligns his palms and strikes out. Really spark and lightning all the way. The shock wave of white halo envelops Shiki with thunder and lightning. Stunned, can't beat Luo Feng outside. What's more, Shiki in prison has lost his double swords and the incapable fruit ability, so he can only be frustrated and defeated. Luo Feng returned to normal, holding a torture knife. You guys are sinful and wicked. The execution knife knows the 2 directly. This is only the outer elevator on the 6th floor. There are prisoners on the facade, and only the sound of fighting can be heard. Luo Feng doesn't care. Take the key and turn into thunder in stealth. Put the key back into Hannible's room. Go back to the 4th floor, pretend to help, and jump directly to the next floor. made some noises and poisoned them with Magellan. Wait for a long time and notify the above through the phone worm. They are dead. Come down for treatment soon. Deputy Warden Magellan and Guard Shiryu are all fainted and injured. Hannibal was shocked, and ran off first. Luo Feng saw that all the medical staff came from behind, and said to Hannibal, "When I came down, Magellan and Shiryu fainted. Golden Lion and Jace were both poisoned by the Deputy Warden. I just came down and killed them after a while." Hannibal looked shocked and regretful. "You were really lucky. This time, you have done a great job. I really think it is my credit. I have exposed my heart again. Ahem, they are too powerful. I was almost hammered to death by two of them, but fortunately I." Luo Feng's face turned pale. He was about to cough up blood and fainted, and he was excited to tell the process. The people present looked at Luo Feng's performance and couldn't help but believe this explanation. "Hannibal, you have to report truthfully. Luo Feng is also thinking about Rear Admiral's launch of the warship. Don't worry, I really want to take the credit for it." Luo Feng smiled secretly in his heart. A group of jailers organized the 6 floors of the post-war prison. Magellan and Shiryu also woke up under treatment. "I really want to be in a closed dark space, it's best to close the mind together." Magellan muttered to himself. The head jailer Berenje was talking to Magellan and Shiryu next to him. "Deputy Warden, Chief Warden, when you went down to block, Major Luo Feng hurried over and jumped down without hesitation. According to Major Luo Feng, you all fainted when he came down. Golden Lion Shiki and Jace were poisoned by you. He took the opportunity to successfully execute them here." Quote, "Oh, what about Major Luo Feng? I want to thank him. It hurts." Magellan was beaten and fractured in his left hand. Turning around, he was in severe pain and let out a breath of poisonous gas. The jailers who treated Magellan all wore gas masks and protective clothing, and simply fixed their left arm. Rain Shiryu calmly took the gas mask handed by the jailer and put on it. Major Luo Feng was seriously injured and has gone back to rest. Berenj explained. "Monitoring bug, check it out. Chief Warden Shiryu, the surveillance insects were all destroyed during your battle, and there is no picture to save." Yuji Shiryu had doubts in his eyes and asked Magellan. "Magellan, is Major Luo Feng capable?" "No, it's a swordsman, using execution knives. This is what Marine's data says, Grandmaster 6 styles, it's a swordsman." Shiryu is full of doubts. He was the first to be stunned and the fastest to recover. "Although I didn't wake up completely, in a daze. He saw a huge black man and an equally huge golden giant, it seemed to carry lightning. It's a pity that the brain is not fully awake, just a bit of an impression. How could a swordsman become a giant?" Shiryu scratched his head and stopped thinking about it. "Report the truth to Naval Headquarters. It is my responsibility to escape the 6th-level felon," Magellan said solemnly. "No, you see they don't look like seastone handcuffs brute force to break free, they are more like, the key opens." Rain Shiryu glanced at the 2 corpses with their hands and feet intact. "It is impossible for the capable person to get rid of the handcuffs." Magellan and the jailers looked ugly. If it was the key, it means that someone secretly released Shiki from Impel down. Check who has been on the 6th floor in the past 3 days. Magellan stood up. The key is only available for a few prison officials. Check whose key is missing. The order was arranged. On the other side, the injured Luo Feng returned to the room on the ground floor. 2 monster-like pirates were executed. Luo Feng smiled at the system rewards. System prompt. Congratulations to host for executing the guilty pirate, Golden Lion Shiki, Jace. Physical stamina increased by 1400. Reward, Lion Fruit, Strong Fruit. Famous Sword, Sakura 10, Famous Sword. Wood Dry. Skills, 1 Sword Style. Slash Wave, 2 Sword Style. Lion, Thousand Cut Valley. Conqueror's Hockey was promoted to the top. Quote, "Taking out the lion fruit and the sturdy fruit, Luo Feng swallowed it directly. A strange force appeared in the body. Gently tap the table, lion fruit activates, freely controlling the table to float up and down. The powerful fruit activation can make your body huge, and the longer you save, the stronger your body will become." Luo Feng was ecstatic in his heart and got strong fruits again. Especially lion fruit. Shiki can control the sea water, allowing several giant islands to float at an altitude of 10,000 meters for decades. As long as Luo Feng develops more abilities, he will be able to exert his full strength. At the same time, because of the coexistence of multiple fruit abilities, it is more difficult to develop fruit than those with normal abilities. But who would mind the multi-fruit ability of Heaven Defying? Luo Feng opened the system panel. Host: Luo Feng. Weapon: top execution knife produced by the system. Skills: Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle Cut top level 1 sword style. Divine Avoidance primary Kongyun Cut intermediate. 1 knife flow, slash wave, 2 swords flow. The lion cuts the valley with 1,000. Ability: Observation Haki top level Armament Haki top level Conqueror's Haki top level. Unawakened Fruit, Thunder Fruit, Big Buddha Fruit, Lion Fruit, Strong Fruit. Barrier Fruit, Stealth Fruit, Rusty Fruit. Physical Fitness, 6,600 6,600. System Space, Famous Knife. Sakura 10, Famous Knife. Mew Withered. The strength is strong again. Just when Luo Feng adjusted to the new power. Impel Down is in full swing. The keys have been checked and they are all there. The monitoring insect records have also been checked and there is no problem. The new Major Luo Feng went with Hannibal once, and the rest were jailers. Nothing suspicious. Quote: Magellan, the deputy warden's room, listened to the report of his subordinates, only feeling a headache. It is a mystery how Shiki and Jace break free from Seastone. Deputy Warden, from Naval Headquarters, 2 Vice Admiral led the warship to arrive. There was a voice from the phone worm on the desk. Come here, please. Yes. Not long after, following Hannibal's guidance, 2 Vice Admiral walked in. Wearing a red half-sleeved shirt, wearing a Vice Admiral hat, with a big knife on his back, he is 3 meters tall. His face revealed majesty and ruthlessness, Sakazuki. The other, with a headscarf, wearing a white vest and blue shirt, looked not awake. Kuzan, Deputy Warden Magellan. To Mr. Vice Admiral, you are a little late, Shiki and Jace have been killed. Magellan's huge body stood up. Hey, I heard that when I came in just now, why do you want us to run for nothing? Kuzan said with a yawn. The Deputy Warden should say it again. Sakazuki sat on the stool coldly. Neither person wears a gas mask. Night. Magellan told the story again. Hey, it's true, it broke away from Seastone intact. Kuzan also looked surprised after hearing it, which was unusual. It's a pity that they are all dead, and there is no way to know that the major who executed them. Major Luo Feng tried desperately to stop them, and finally killed them. He was also seriously injured and rested on the ground floor. Magellan replied. Sakazuki nodded and said coldly, you should have executed all these pirates long ago. Sakazuki. There was a prompt next to Kuzan. Let's go and see the heroic major. If the 2 Vice Admiral are going to visit Major Luo Feng, I will let someone lead the way. Magellan called Ballinger in. Take 2 Mr. Vice Admiral to Major Luo Feng's. Yes. Kuzan and Sakazuki stood up. Then, thank you Deputy Warden, Shiki, we will report the truth. The 2 walked out back and forth. Chapter 11. The sky is already bright, and the sun is shining on the windows. Luo Feng took out a blindfold from the room. Run around all night and have to sleep. At this time, someone outside the door. Major Luo Feng, come from this department. Ballinger's voice came in. Luo Feng sensed that there were 2 people outside, and his control face turned pale again. Pretend to cough. He got up and opened the door. I'm grinning. Aokiji, Akainu. Luo Feng couldn't help but say it. Expose your heart. This won't be contagious by Hannibal, it seems you have to stay away from him. Major Luo Feng, what are you talking about? No, no. Berenjay turned his body sideways and introduced. These are the 2 Vice Admiral adults from the headquarters, Kuzan Vice Admiral and Sakazuki Vice Admiral. Luo Feng just remembered that the 2 of them have not yet taken up the post of Admiral, and they have not yet been named. He saluted with a snap. I have seen 2 Vice Admiral. Kuzan and Sakazuki walked in. Major, don't be nervous, they are all colleagues. Kuzan said casually. Okay. Luo Feng was not restrained, walked back to the bed and sat. Sakazuki looked around, then looked at Luo Feng. We are here to understand how you killed the 2 Shiki. Luo Feng pulled out a smile on his pale face, and repeated the words he had prepared. When I jumped down, Shiryu and Magellan Deputy Warden both fainted. Jace staggered and wanted to kill Magellan. When Kuzan and Sakazuki heard it, they seemed to be fine. Magellan's poison, no matter how powerful people are, they will become weak after being hit. Major Luo Feng is really brave and sacrifices himself for others. Kuzan complimented. Thank you Kuzan Vice Admiral for the compliment. Luo Feng smiled back. Sakazuki felt a little confused, but couldn't tell what was wrong. He is very optimistic about Luo Feng who killed the murderous pirate. More than praise, I will submit your credit to the headquarters. In view of your strength, Rear Admiral can't run. Sakazuki said kindly. He has a good impression of such a major who rushes to kill and thoroughly implements marine justice. Pirates just want to kill. Luo Feng was surprised. Akainu, who saw One Piece the most hated in his previous life, actually released his kindness to him. Kuzan yawned, and both of them were the same. Two Vice Admiral adults, did you find out how Shiki escaped? Luo Feng asked on this occasion. No, both of them are capable people. It's really scary to break free from the seastone handcuffs intact. Kuzan gave Luo Feng a sideways glance. Hey, Sakazuki, what do you think? Sakazuki still had a cold face. There must be someone secretly answering. Luo Feng said solemnly. Master Vice Admiral, this, a very serious problem. Impel Down is known as the world's #1 prison. Sakazuki gave Luo Feng a sideways glance. Major Luo Feng, since you know the seriousness of the matter, pay more attention to the people in Impel Down. Yes, Vice Admiral. Luo Feng's attitude is very upright. Kuzan smiled and said, I am full of enthusiasm, I am optimistic about you too. Sakazuki said again, I will personally report your credit. You have to do your duty in prison matters. Sakazuki Vice Admiral, I understand. Luo Feng nodded. If you are promoted to Rear Admiral, you might get more rights. I really want to thank Akainu Sakazuki. Luo Feng turned around. Take out Marine's personal information from the cabinet and hand it to Sakazuki. Roger's execution officer. Sakazuki took the information and looked at it. If you have time, go to the headquarters to participate in the strength assessment. This time I can recommend you to the headquarters for promotion to Vice Admiral. Luo Feng shook his head. Thank you Sakazuki Vice Admiral, I just want to be an execution officer. Okay then we will go back, so busy. Kuzan cupped his head. After the matter was over, the two went out and left. Luo Feng watched the two leave. Aokiji and Akainu in their youth are really interesting. Now I can finally get a good night's sleep. Lying on the bed with big characters, Luo Feng went to sleep. The other side, the Sakazuki and the two took the report of the propulsion vehicle and boarded the warship of the headquarters. In less than half a day, the warship arrived at Marineford very quickly. A huge fortress stands. The two characters of Justice, and the Marine military standard of Seagull Libra. Sakazuki and Kuzan crossed Marineford Square and came to the main fortress. Marshal's office. Marshal Kong listened to the two reports. You mean, Shiki and Jace broke free from the seastone handcuffs intact and escaped from the cell? Marshal Sora looked strange and unbelievable. Yes, we were shocked at the beginning. Magellan and Shiryu fought with them and were almost killed. Shiki and Jace were also highly poisoned. Execution Officer Major Luo Feng went down to block them, and finally killed them. The rest of the prisoners. The rest was not affected, and it was controlled near the elevator entrance on the 6th floor. Luo Feng, even Shiki, who is seriously injured and weak, cannot be killed by the strength of a major. Yes, there is no problem with Major Luo Feng's details, which also shows that he has the strength. Sakazuki took the opportunity to say, Sakazuki, do you want to recommend him? The empty marshal leaned on the chair with his arms folded. The ruthless Sakazuki rarely speaks for others, let alone recommend. Yes, it's enough credit to stop and kill the two great pirates, and promotion is a normal procedure. Marshal Sora smiled. Then do it. Then let's go. After the report, Sakazuki and Kuzan still need to go to West Blue. Marshal Sora rubbed his brows. One more trouble, how did the seastone handcuffs be opened? Did someone deliberately release Shiki inside Impel Down? The two walked out the door, down the corridor. Zephyr with purple hair and black-rimmed glasses walked over. Teacher Zephyr. Both Sakazuki and Kuzan saluted. Sakazuki, Kuzan, two busy people, it's been a long time since I saw you. Zephyr smiled and waved. Both of these are his students. Teacher Zephyr, are you okay? The two Kuzan hadn't seen Zephyr for a long time. I'm fine, did you just report on the task? Yes, teacher, there was a riot in the advancing car, and I just came back. Zephyr froze for a moment, and there was a riot in Impel Down, which is known as Hell. Are you okay? It's calmed down, now go to West Blue. Kuzan has no secrets to Zephyr, but Sakazuki only has tasks in his eyes, and said. Teacher Zephyr, let's go first. Zephyr nodded and didn't ask. Be careful. Yes. The two left. Zephyr watched them walk away and shook his head. He knew Sakazuki's character best. Iron-blooded, ruthless, and thorough execution of justice. Walked to the door of the marshal's office, knocked on the door and walked in directly. Zephyr walked into the marshal's office. He walked to the sofa and sat on his own. Zephyr, what are you doing? Marshal Kong stood up, walked slowly to the other side of the sofa and sat down. Impel Down rioted. Marshal Sora. Zephyr took off his glasses and rubbed his eyebrows. I met Sakazuki and Kuzan just now. Well, it's unusual. Marshal Kong's eyes were solemn. This is the world's #1 prison. The felon on the 6th floor can walk out of the cell ignoring Seastone. There is no doubt that someone has solved it. Either, the handcuffs are not Seastone. Quote. Facing Marshal Kong's decisive inference, Zephyr did not refute. Although there are many impossibilities in the world, Seastone cannot be ignored by those with fruit ability. You are right, this matter must be investigated anyway. Zephyr said. In the Impel Down report, there is also an interesting young man. Marshal Sora continued. Interesting young man. Yes, Golden Lion Shiki, Jace, the two were dragged by Magellan desperately, Shiki were poisoned, and the execution officer of Impel Down bravely stopped him and took the opportunity to kill Shiki and Jace. Marshal Kong said slowly. This young man won't be called Luo Feng, right? Zephyr asked tentatively. But I thought in my heart, this kid is the same. Yes, your student, Marshal Sora asked. Zephyr shook his head. No, East Blue Log Town, he came back with me all the way. When the mysterious man shot, he was also on the boat. Don't you suspect that he is a mysterious person? Marshal Sora was surprised. It's just possible. It doesn't matter if it is him or not, you will know if you have the opportunity to test it. The important thing now is to investigate the matter of Impel Down. Marshal Sora didn't have much intention to investigate the mysterious person. Zephyr put on his glasses and said, Impel Down, let me see. Marshal Sora was surprised. Are you a second-tier instructor also interested? Is that Luo Feng? Forget it, I'm also very interested in Shiki's escape. Zephyr couldn't help but smile. Okay, Impel Down, go as fast as you can. The clues may disappear over time. Marshal Sora nodded. Then I'll go over and take a look. Zephyr stood up. He waved his hand and left. Marshal Kong touched his wild beard. What a chaotic era, such as the new pirates that appeared in the Crucian Carp across the river, and the revolutionary army that began to appear in the world. Woke up at night. It's past noon. Luo Feng stretched his muscles and bones, comfortable. He jumped down to wash and saw the corner of the black robe that hadn't been stretched properly from the corner of his eye. Pull the backpack smoothly and tuck it under the bed. Luo Feng sat down after washing, and the jailer came at the door. Major Luo Feng, there are people here. The jailer in prison uniform saluted and said. Are you here again? Do you know who it is? Luo Feng curiously said. I don't know. They are in the 4th floor office. The jailer also didn't know who came. Well, I'll go over immediately. Luo Feng nodded, put on his coat and walked over. Kang dang. The elevator sank slowly. Screams came in bursts. Warden's office. Luo Feng walked in slowly. One look. Good guys. The prison officials are almost there. Shiryu, Sarudes, Haniabel, Berenja. Sitting in the warden's office is Magellan. And the straight one sitting on the sofa. Zephyr. Zephyr instructor. Luo Feng hurriedly saluted. You kid, are you surprised to see me? Zephyr saw Luo Feng and immediately smiled. This old man. I am very happy to see Zephyr instructor. But I didn't expect Zephyr instructor to be so busy that I could come in person. Zephyr laughed. I'm here to bring good news. Luo Feng was shocked. Good news, is my appointment here. Magellan explained to the side. World ZF didn't blame us for our mistakes, thought we did a good job, and promoted me to prison guard. Zephyr nodded, and then said. The former warden was attacked on the Grand Line and has been killed. Magellan will take over. This jailbreak was very weird, and you did a great job. Quote. Then turned his head to look at Luo Feng. How do you think they got rid of the seastone handcuffs? After Zephyr arrived, he went to check the surveillance on the first floor of the sea. Luo Feng had never appeared. I think they broke free with their hands. Luo Feng smiled bitterly. Did I still say that I gave the key over? There is a big problem here, everything else is fine, but your kid is also hiding very deeply. Zephyr got up and walked over and patted Luo Feng on the shoulder. Even the seriously injured and dying Golden Lion and Jace are not so easy to deal with. I feel that there is something in this uncle's words. A fluke, it's the warden's credit. Luo Feng was helpless. Zephyr laughed, took out an appointment letter, handed it to Luo Feng and said. Your appointment has come down, Luo Feng. Rear Admiral. I really want to be the warden. I've exposed my heart. Hannibal said suddenly. Zephyr looked surprised. What's wrong with this person? This Shiki escape is full of weirdness. Zephyr continued with serious eyes. Impel down, the world's #1 prison. A prison that claims to never escape. But this time, there was a seastone handcuffs problem. I think you all understand the seriousness of the problem. Warden Magellan, the keys to the 6th tier prisoners, how many are there in total? Quote. Magellan replied seriously. I, Hannibal, and Shiryu will have the keys to the 6th floor. Moreover, the seastone handcuff keys are universal due to production problems. Quote. Zephyr frowned for a long time, in other words, your keys are all there, no less. Yes, Magellan nodded, and all three of them took out the keys from their waists. Zephyr took it over and examined it. Nothing found. Luo Feng, follow me to the 6th floor to have a look. Zephyr looked at Luo Feng in a daze and said. Me, Luo Feng stunned, then he should be. No other people in the prison were allowed to accompany him. Luo Feng, Zephyr, and Magellan took the elevator down to the 6th floor. 6 floors. Traces of the battle are faintly visible. It mainly happened on the elevator side, without affecting the prisoners inside. These are cracks made with fists. Zephyr squinted his glasses and looked at the battle marks around him over and over again. Luo Feng suddenly felt nervous. This old man, after all his battles, won't be able to see anything. Zephyr looked at it for a while, as if he had found something unusual. Let's go and see the cell in custody. The cells on the 6th floor are independent and separated. Zephyr looked at the handcuffs carefully. There is no trace of damage, and there is no bloodline to break free. It can be concluded that the handcuffs were opened, and how to open it is still unknown. Luo Feng has 10,000 horses running, Zephyr Holmes. Could it be broken inside? Luo Feng said. It's possible, Magellan, you are capable, you come and try. Zephyr beckoned. Luo Feng's horse has never stopped. Ask the warden to try handcuffs. Magellan didn't mind. It is a role model for Impel down, a serious and responsible warden. Put on handcuffs. Magellan instantly lost strength, and couldn't get rid of the handcuffs. Take out the key and unlock it. I went to Shiki's cell again, tried again, and there was no problem. Zephyr felt full of weirdness. Except for the jailer who delivered the food, no one came down. The jailers had checked their whereabouts and identities. Luo Feng followed Zephyr blankly. You check, if you can find it, I'm pretty awesome. Zephyr had no choice but to go back. Suddenly he stopped, jumped onto the beams above the prison. Magellan and Luo Feng looked at each other and jumped up. Zephyr pointed to a place, over there. That's where Jess and Luo Feng Big Buddha stood and fisted. Over there. Zephyr pointed to another place. It was left when the Great Buddha's shock wave faced the Golden Lion Shiki. Although these two places seemed to be nothing at first glance, from a high point of view, there seemed to be traces of two giants fighting there. And here, it is more like a shock left. Quote, Magellan said puzzledly. Before I fainted, there was no giant. Although Jace is strong, he is not huge. Zephyr thought for a while. It seems that things are not that simple. Other people have appeared here. Let's go. Zephyr has already probed it all. The three took the elevator back to the warden's office. I'm back to Marineford first. Goodbye. Zephyr seemed to be hiding something in his heart, and soon left. Luo Feng has 10,000 in his heart. The horse has been running back and forth countless times. Is this really Zephyr Holmes? Two different destructions were also seen in the chaotic battle traces. What Luo Feng didn't know was that Zephyr and Sengoku had been comrades in arms for many years. The traces of this impact can be seen at a glance. Luo Feng is not surprised by Zephyr's IQ. In his previous life, Zephyr was the man who formed the new marine. And no matter how much you check, you can't find yourself. Stable. Zephyr's warship has left the port. Luo Feng followed Hannibal to the 4th floor, blazing hell. Your Excellency Rear Admiral, there is a pirate who needs you to execute this time. Guided by Hannibal, a huge fat man hung on the shelf. Slaying villages and selling young children. He has already enjoyed the torture and can be executed. Hannibal explained. Luo Feng nodded. He was an unknown pirate in his previous life. The execution knife was raised. Do you have anything else to say in the end? Routine inquiry. The big fat man said weakly. Spare me. Spare me. That's it. Execution. Hannibal told the jailer to drag on. Turning around, he said, these prisoners must be executed after severe torture. We'll be ready to convey that you come over to execute. Quote. Luo Feng nodded. System prompt. Execution of cruel pirates, physical fitness increased by 10. Reward. Pirates treasure map. 10 o'clock. Is not it. But this treasure map is a bit interesting. This fat man also hid treasures. Hannibal, how much money did the prisoner offer? It is said that he was arrested as soon as he entered the Grand Line from East Blue and offered a reward of 32 million. No wonder it's so weak, only 10 physical fitness. But in Impel Down, prisoners are executed every day. The other side, Zephyr, who returned to Marineford, immediately went to Marshal Empty. Marshal's office. It is certain that the seastone handcuffs and the prison door are not abnormal. Someone let them go. Quote. Zephyr said seriously. The question of whether the undersea prison can still be safely detained has already been involved. 6th floor, more than Golden Lion. There are also murderous criminals that are not known to the world. For example, San Juan. The wolf. Marshal Kong leaned back on the chair, full of dignity. Who do you think it will be? Zephyr shook his head. The traces in the battle area are also suspicious. It seems that a person who can use shock waves has fought with a giant. Quote. Giant. It's just from the trace analysis. Pondered for a long time. Marshal Kong said. This matter can't be investigated by someone in the dark without taking action. You can only take one step at a time, and the major criminals bound the whole body with seastone chains. Quote. Zephyr nodded. Then come here first, cover this one beforehand and don't pass it on. Zephyr nodded and got up and left. Luo Feng of Impel Down, in the following days, entered the normal life of clocking in at work. The jailer passed the list to Luo Feng. Luo Feng went to the underground for execution. The opening of the era of the great pirates. There are a lot of newborn pirates in the 4 seas. Some vicious, cruel and ruthless people also took the opportunity to go to sea to cause chaos. Marine sends prisoners almost every week. The criminals who can reach Impel Down are all guilty guys. The prisoners on the 6th floor have not been executed. After Zephyr's investigation, there was no opportunity to execute the prisoners by other methods. Time flies for many years. Luo Feng insisted on the life of clocking in at work at Impel Down. Although they are all weak and fierce pirates, they are tired day by day and night. Among them, the physical improvement is the biggest. It has reached more than 9,000 and will soon exceed the 10,000 mark. For the convenience of rewards, I also got the skills and items of Wuhua 8 Gate. In terms of skills, he has gained sword skills, stick skills, boxing skills, even hull coating, and gambling skills, all of which are small skills. The big move that is comparable to the gods and avoids has not exploded. Devil Fruit's biggest harvest is Logia. Snow Fruit, Paramesh's Light Lion Fruit, and the rest, like Jacket Fruit, don't mention it. For Luo Feng, Devil Fruit, logia are similar to shock fruit, as only interested in the fruits of the monster species. The most common item category is the treasure map of the pirates. These brutal pirates did not expect that the treasures they had hidden during their lifetime were exploded by Luo Feng. A bunch of maces, big knives, and even the cannon on the ship appeared in weapons, but the famous knives did not appear. In the room on the ground floor, Luo Feng carried the execution knife as usual and was about to go to work. On this day, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and purple thunder was shining. A lieutenant colonel ran from the harbor. "Report, Rear Admiral." The lieutenant colonel saluted. "What's the matter?" Luo Feng was surprised, why he hurriedly panicked. Beast Kaido attacked Marineford headquarters, was captured alive. Luo Feng clank. "Kaido has come to make a fuss at Marine headquarters." Kaido was caught. "Yes, just now, Marshal Sengoku and Garp Vice Admiral teamed up to capture them alive and asked you to execute the death sentence." The lieutenant colonel said solemnly. "Rear Admiral, Kaido is a monster." "Have heard a little bit, I know." Nodded. Luo Feng was excited, and a big fish was delivered to the door by himself. After Kaido is executed, he will be able to break through the 10,000 stamina mark immediately. Luo Feng remembered that in One Piece, Kaido provoked naval headquarters 40 times, and was unable to kill after being captured alive. Followed the lieutenant colonel and rushed over. Marineford Plaza. The headquarters vice admiral, rear admiral, and even some marines who are still students are already around. On the towering execution platform, Kaido, who is huge, is tied up with 5 big flowers. He had black hair and a shawl, with a pair of horns, his upper body was naked, and his eyes were half open. Haven't fully sobered up yet. Marine Vice Admiral Kizaru, wearing yellow clothes, sits aside. Prevent Kaido from suddenly rioting. The square below was rags and rubble all over the floor. The staff is hurriedly repairing the square. "It's terrible, Kaido." Kizaru looked at the huge man with his eyes closed. "Kizaru, Kaido is still a little drunk." "What a mess, this is naval headquarters." Kizaru spoke slowly. "I just killed myself. It's a boring world." Kaido shook his head and said arrogantly. He is full of confidence in himself. Kizaru opened his mouth slightly and said nothing. Kaido's vitality and body are indeed the most perverted creatures known. "Person. The strongest creature. Your execution officer is here." Kizaru saw the warship entering the port below. "Execution officer. Kizaru, do you use new tricks?" Kaido was half drunk and half awake, mocking in his words. "Ah, try one trick at a time, Kaido." Kizaru still spoke slowly. Kaido continued bowed his head. Below, Luo Feng was standing on the bow of the ship, looking at the towering sentence on the square table. That sentence table sat tied down the beast's Kaido. "Great beef, I'm coming." Luo Feng's eyes light up, sitting at home, fat heaven awe. Walk in the square. Marine soldiers to see the execution officer came, and all the audience closer to the sentence over. They want to see a little more clearly. Sentence officer came to sentence Kaido. The news spread. The generals also Marineford soldiers can come to have a look. Sengoku, Garp, and Zephyr also stood and watched from the fortress window. "I'm going to execute Kaido, the beast." Garp was holding a bag of senbei and was slurred. "I still have no hope of killing this monster this time." Sengoku rubbed his eyebrows. "The last time I killed in the second half of the Grand Line, I didn't kill it for a long time. Try it all, maybe some way can be done." Zephyr also said. "Think about what punishment will be used next," Garp said. Said Sakazuki came back and burned it with fire. Zephyr suggested. "You can try." Sengoku was helpless, and Aokiji's freezing was only temporarily imprisoned. "I can't shut it down, I can't kill it, and it has been a headache for Sengoku over the past few years. And this arrogant beast Kaido seems to be carrying out some secret activities." Luo Feng began to walk to the execution stand, and a lieutenant colonel execution officer of the headquarters cooperated with Luo Feng to execute the sentence. "Rear Admiral, I didn't think we would be called to execute Kaido. How could we kill this monster?" The lieutenant colonel execution officer and Luo Feng stepped up the stairs slowly, showing bitter smiles. "It's good to obey orders. Whether Kaido can die or not, we shouldn't care about it." Luo Feng said flatly. "Yes, I hope he won't suddenly go crazy, we are easily injured by the side." Lieutenant Colonel said with regret. There is Mr. Kizaru, the speed of light, it's okay, just relax. Luo Feng was very nervous when he saw him. Yes, Kizaru Vice Admiral is in the attic. This Kaido is really troublesome. Sengoku gritted his teeth a bit. No, if you can't kill you, you can only let him go. Putting him in Impel down would be a major hidden danger. Zephyr also said that even if it is a sea stone, it does not necessarily shut down Kaido's powerful body. The execution officer went up. Garp looked at the execution platform. Luo Feng and the lieutenant colonel walked to the execution stage together. Behind Kaido, Kizaru has stood up. Kizaru Vice Admiral. Luo Feng saluted. Then I leave it to you, just do my best. Kizaru said slowly. Yes, Luo Feng responded to the lieutenant colonel. Hey, Kizaru, you naval headquarters let 2 unknown people execute me. Kaido opened his eyes and looked a little dimly at Luo Feng who had just come up. What did the rear admiral execution officer look at me? Luo Feng couldn't help but look at Kaido like looking at delicious food. No, Luo Feng rear admiral is the outstanding execution officer who executed Roger. It's not wrong to wrong you, Kaido, live enough, or you will die. Quote. Kizaru said from the side. Then try it. Kaido laughed, full of confidence, his body. Without a strong figure, how could he be injured? Death is even more impossible. Luo Feng looked at Kaido's incredible expression. Standing on either side of Kaido separately from the lieutenant colonel execution officer, he raised his execution knife. Luo Feng's execution knife was produced by the system. Seeing that the execution officer was ready, the Marines below swallowed nervously. Some talking voices came out in the square. You can't use a standard execution knife. Maybe it takes special metal to pierce him. The Marines talked to each other. When Kaido was executed last time, many people were on the scene. With the guillotine, the blades were all shattered. Hanging, the chain broke. With penetrating punishment, the spear breaks. But this monster didn't suffer any harm. Holding the execution knife. The eyes of everyone are watching. Luo Feng's face was plain, but he thought in his heart, you will be my food soon, Kaido. Execution. Kizaru gave an order. Luo Feng's execution knives were about to penetrate. Just when the execution knife was about to move, Kaido felt cold. The breath of death appeared. Kaido shook his body and turned to look at the 2 executioners on the left and right who raised their knives. The alcoholic spirit of the body was instantly sober, looking around, judging where the breath of death came from. Danger, really will die. Moment of life and death. Luo Feng's knife is about to fall. Kaido was horrified, he felt death approaching, a great horror. Do not. Kaido struggled and roared. The chain is broken. Become a cyan dragon. Watching Kaido escape as a dragon. Luo Feng resisted the desire to eat Kaido and pretended to be shocked. At this time, Garp Sengoku and a bunch of strong players are still there, so they can't make a move here. Kaido turns into a giant dragon, with its feet on the clouds. There was no obstruction in front, and he rushed out frantically. The rays of light condensed, and Kizaru appeared. Want to run away, Kaido? Go away. Kaido was frightened by the breath of death, and just wanted to run away at this time. The dragon swayed and quickly passed Kizaru. Let Kizaru shoot a light attack behind him, and flew at high speed, enduring the pain. When he really faced death, he couldn't help but fear. It was too late when Garp, Sengoku, and Zephyr arrived quickly. Only Kizaru Aokiji followed closely. Kaido. Sengoku looked puzzled. Arrogant Kaido, why suddenly ran away? Zephyr and Garp faced each other, seeing the surprise in each other's eyes. On the execution stage, Luo Feng watched the duck flying away. I was impatient, so I came back quickly. The other execution officer was also shocked. Kaido let out a loud roar and suddenly turned into a dragon and flew away. The Sengoku trio who rushed over looked at the 2 executioners, and Luo Feng's expression at this time also looked as though they were frightened. Gritting his teeth and bowing his head silently. Don't be frustrated, Kaido is known as the strongest creature, and it's reasonable to not kill. Sengoku did not forget to comfort him. Luo Feng, don't care. Zephyr also said something. Luo Feng and the lieutenant colonel carefully recounted Kaido's performance on the execution stage just now. You mean, Kaido turned into a giant dragon and fled. The three Sengoku looked at each other with surprise and shock. Kaido is known as the strongest creature, why did he flee with a panic? Luo Feng, who looked at the three old uncles, was full of tears in his heart at this time. Unexpectedly, Kaido is so sensitive to death. The flesh of the mouth really has wings and flies away. Can't wait, the fat in the mouth can't be spit out. Tugged at the lieutenant colonel, and then saluted Sengoku, Garp, and Zephyr. Sorry, Marshal Sengoku, we didn't finish the execution mission. Let's go to rest. Today is terrible. Luo Feng quickly retired, looking terrified. He will pretend to follow. I really can't bear this piece of fat. Well, you two go back and have a good rest, don't care about today's task. Sengoku nodded, expressing understanding. It's shocking that a person turns into an overwhelming dragon right in front of you. Luo Feng nodded, saluted Garp Zephyr, and then walked off the execution stand. The officers and soldiers on the square looked surprised. Kaido turned into a dragon and ran away. Luo Feng directly boarded the warship of Impel down. The warship quickly returned to Impel down under the urging of Luo Feng. The other side, Kizaru turned into a light and chased after Kaido, soon to catch up. Aokiji led a warship and quickly set sail to pursue Kaido. The dragon incarnation of Kaido flies quickly on the clouds, and looks back from time to time. Kizaru's light followed closely and kept getting closer. It really is naval headquarters, it can really kill me. Run, run. Almost leaving the waters of Marineford. Just cross the red line again to return to New World. Kaido, how can you run away? Kizaru, who was the fastest to pursue him, laughed. 8-foot mirror. Sparkling fruit has the ability to advance at the speed of light. Kizaru kept harassing Kaido and slowed down. Kizaru, you really must have the power to kill me, you almost fell into your trap. Kaido's horrified voice from the dragon's body said to Kizaru. Facing Kaido's horrified look, Kizaru was shocked, and his movements stopped. Kaido, what are you talking about? Kaido didn't slow down, and rushed to the red line in a panic. Kizaru, want to lie to me? I feel the breath of death. Kaido didn't dare to stay in the fight, fearing that someone or something deadly would catch up. Kizaru was shocked. What kind of character Kaido was, so arrogant and conceited, he was shocked. Hachijiang Guyu. Kizaru used the fruit ability to try to drag Kaido's footsteps. Kaido flicked his dragon's tail, blocking most of the light. I didn't care about the pain I felt. It's really tricky. Kizaru activated the 8-foot mirror, and sparkling fruit chased Kaido at the speed of light. Kizaru, don't stop me. He breathed out a breath of heat. The huge heat rushed away like a pillar of fire. Kizaru turned into a light ball and dodged. Squeezing his hands, a lightsaber appeared in his hands and cut off Kaido's huge body. Kaido was slow under Kizaru's constant harassment. Kaido was anxious, although he could no longer feel the breath of death. But still on Marine's turf, he has no sense of security. The huge dragon's mouth opened, and a dragon roar brought thunder and lightning to Kizaru. Kizaru was restrained by thunder and lightning, and Kaido rushed forward again. Kaido, did you run away? Kizaru gleamed and came to Kaido again. Bad wind. Lonko launched a large number of wind blades to blow it away. At this time, Aokiji on the warship also pursued it. Ice spear. The issued Aokiji condensed a huge ice spear and pierced the air towards Kaido. Kizaru's dazzling light disappeared again. Kaido was furious and couldn't be held back. Heat. The huge dragon head looked back, vomiting huge heat in his mouth. Melted the ice spear and shot it towards the warship below. The issued Aokiji made ice and forcibly stopped the ship moving forward. The heat blasted into the sea like a pillar of fire in front of the warship. It's dangerous. Kizaru glanced at the warship hiding below. Kaido has already taken the opportunity to cross the red line and leave. Hello, Pelusalino, just let him go, shouted Aokiji below. Kuzan, didn't you see Kaido Ishin just trying to escape? Kizaru was shocked. Kaido, the beast, would flee like this. Kaido, I seem to be in a panic. Kizaru said the words that surprised Aokiji. Hello, Pelusalino, what do you mean? Kizaru's light condensed on the warship, showing his figure. Kaido, it seems to be frightened. He said that he felt the breath of death in the headquarters. Kuzan's eyes widened and he was surprised. How is it possible? Kaido, known as the strongest creature. He would run away in horror. Impel down. Above ground level of port. The warship stopped. Luo Feng rushed back from Marineford and ran straight into the room. He took off his marine uniform and changed into casual clothes. I connected Magellan with a phone worm and told me to take a few days off. Magellan agreed. Then he changed into a big black robe. The stealth fruit is launched. It turned into lightning and disappeared in the same place instantly. Big fat Kaido, don't run. Marineford. Sengoku stood up abruptly, with a look of disbelief, and said loudly. You mean, Kaido ran away in terror because he was scared? Zephyr, Garp, and the Crane staff looked solemn. Aokiji and Kizaru nodded seriously, and replied seriously. Kaido doesn't entangle us at all, Isshin flees, and he is frightened. What is it that frightens him so much? Zephyr felt a cold sweat coming out of his forehead. According to what he said, it was the breath of death, as if there was something that could kill him. Kizaru put away his old sloppy tone. Garp also gritted his teeth and said, if Kaido will die, then it is terrible. Naval headquarters has a threat we don't know. The office was full of shock. Although this incident is unthinkable, please don't mess around. No matter what makes Kaido the beast panic and run away, everyone is watching the changes. Marshal Sengoku stood up. The naval headquarters report ended soon. The other side, Kaido, who fled in panic, passed the red line and flew all the way to Wano-kuni. After flying day and night, we arrived at Wano-kuni. Ghost Island. Kaido has changed from a giant dragon back to a human form, and the panic in his heart has long since calmed down. Your Excellency, the young guys from Beast's Pirates shouted when Kaido was back. Go away, Kaido yelled. Everyone was silent for a moment and did not dare to speak. The governor, it seemed very upset. Bring the wine. Kaido sat down on the ground, and his men quickly delivered a huge wine barrel. Kaido drank it when he picked it up. At this time, Plague Quinn, who was obese, and Yan Plague Jin came over. Your Excellency, where have you been? Naval headquarters, I almost died there. Kaido said, remembering the feeling of death coming, picking up the wine barrel and drank again. Nani. Not only Quinn, Jin was shocked, and everyone around him was shocked. Kaido-sama, who was invincible in their eyes, said that he almost died there. It's not that the governor has never been caught by Marine. Everyone was shocked. After a long time, Jin slowed down, and Master Kaido came back, which meant he was all right. So the report, the Governor-General, Kazuki Oden has found it over there, and is about to bring his retainers to find you. Look for me. Kaido glanced at Jin with a cold look in his eyes. Yes, that fool, Oden, has discovered the problem, and the snake is coming. Jin said, here, leave them all behind. On the Oden castle side, the manpower has already set off. Very good. Kaido was in a bad mood, and came just in time for a fight. After a while, the head and mouth are big, and the burly Kurozumi Orochi appeared on the Ghost Island. Kaido, you are finally back. Kurozumi Orochi said hello with a smile, and then said, Kazuki Oden is bringing his retainers to kill. Ha, Orochi. Kaido put down the drink. Stood up. It just so happened that he came back with a sense of discomfort and suffocation, just to vent his anger with Oden. Let's go out of the island to fight. Kaido gave an order. Yes, Lord Governor. The crowd responded. Thousands of Beast's pirates, led by Kaido, walked towards Oden. Kurozumi Orochi also hung behind and followed. Kazuki Oden, who is almost 4 meters tall, wears an orange kimono with thick eyebrows and danfang eyes. Leading his 9 retainers, the 9 heroes of Kai Shao. Kinemon, Denjiro, Kurozumi Kanjuro, Kikunojo, Raizo, Ashura Boy. Hisong, Inu Lan, Cat Viper. There is also Shinobu who joined on the way. Face to face with thousands of Beast's pirates led by Kaido. As Kazuki Oden who has reached the final island from the Roger ship. Kaido doesn't underestimate him at all. When the two parties meet, Kaido activates the fruit ability and becomes a dragon. Below the dragon, Quinn and Jin waited for thousands of people. Kaido, you deceived me, did not keep the promise. Kazuki Oden was angry and pulled out 2 big sharp knives in his hand, Yan Mo, Tnu. The servants behind him showed no fear and showed their weapons. The war is about to start. Yes, we all lied to you, At that time we thought the form was not very good. If you, who just returned, join forces with Leopard Guro, the entire Wano-kuni swordsman and knight will be my enemy." Quote. Kaido's huge dragon head laughed. "At that time I didn't even have many subordinates, but you see, now. Thousands of pirates." Kaido. Odin held a knife in both hands, rushing to Kaido hovering in the sky. His servants also face Kaido's men. Odin's second sword style. Taoyuan Shirataki. Odin jumped into the air and faced Kaido's dragon head. Bad wind. Kaido opened his big mouth, and the wind blades used one after another. Odin slashed through the air, but was cut back to the ground by the wind blade. Kaido was unscathed. Odin strikes again. The two fought fiercely. And below, the 9 Knights of Kai Shao was also found by Quinn and Jin. The 9 heroes was defeated and fought hard to resist. Kazuki Odin couldn't hurt Kaido anyway, and he was angry. Odin 2 swords. Taoyuan 10 punches. Odin wields the double swords that entangle armament hockey. The cross is behind the predecessors, like a shooting star in the sky. After the cross slash was issued, the Odin people followed the cross and slashed at Kaido very quickly. The deep trauma of the 10 suns appeared under Kaido's dragon. "My Lord Governor." Everyone at Beast's Pirates was shocked, showing incredible expressions. "The invincible governor is injured." Kaido fell from the air and turned into a human body, with a cross wound on his right abdomen. At this time, Kaido's men grabbed Odin's son Momonosuke and threatened Odin to stop. "Odin, stop, or kill your son." Odin looked back at his son Momonosuke and stopped, just when he was about to say something. Kaido, transformed into a human form, took the opportunity to sneak attack from behind and hit the back of the head. Odin was dizzy and fell down. At this time, the hostage Momonosuke appeared in its original form, and it was Kurozumi who was capable of clone fruit. Odin was hit and fell down. "Master Odin." Inuarashi, Cat Viper and others shouted when Odin fell down. "You are distracted." Jin slashed Lei Zhang into the air. Then the other retainers also lost one by one. Kaido. Odin fell to the ground, blood in his mouth and nose. "Put them in jail." Kaido was very upset and didn't want to just kill Odin casually. "I was very unhappy when I came back." He has always been confident that his body is strong, but he was chopped by Odin. He will torture Odin with the torture of cauldron cooking. "Yes, Lord Governor." Inu Lan, Cat Viper and others were held in custody, and Odin was also taken away. Kaido led his men back to the Ghost Island and imprisoned Odin and his party in prison. Preparation, the punishment of cauldron cooking. The other side. In the form of Lei Guang, Luo Feng, who chased him all the way, found that he had deviated from the route. After recognizing the direction, he continued to thunder away. In the form of Lei Guang, Luo Feng, who was chasing him all the way, found that he had deviated from the route, and was impatient. For monsters like Kaido, if executed, the reward will not be low, physical fitness will be improved, green dragon fruit, and a pervert body like him. After receiving the minimum allowance for a few years, how could Luo Feng easily let it go when a piece of fat was delivered to the door? Take this opportunity to hunt down. Looking at the pointer on his hand, he recognized the direction and continued to thunder. Wano-kuni, Ghost Island. In the huge pot, it was boiled by the fire below. Kaido sits boldly in front, Jin and Quinn stand on both sides. A group of little brothers are watching around. Odin and his party were escorted by Kaido's men and walked over. Cat Viper, Inu Arashi, and others were left with battle scars, and their faces were dull. Seeing Kaido can't help but yell. Kaido didn't care about his opponent's defeat, and took a drink with a barrel. Odin gritted his teeth, eyes full of unwillingness. The big snake beside it yelled in a weird tone, "The punishment of cooking in a cauldron, siahaha." Odin looked at the snake bitterly, gritted his teeth and lowered his head. "It's enough to die on your own, and you can't let Kinemon and others lose their lives." Looking at the cauldron boiling again, Odin turned his head and said to Kaido sitting in the middle. "Kaido, how about let's make a bet?" "How to bet?" Kaido said slowly. "If I can keep cooking in the pot for an hour, you just let them go." Odin smiled. When the 9 Knights of Chishao heard Odin say this, they struggled and said with grief, "Master Odin, we share the joys and sorrows with you." Seeing this scene, Kaido originally planned to refuse, but nodded. Odin's play of protecting his retainers is interesting. If you can hold on for an hour, I will let them go. Kaido laughed. Kazuki Odin, don't be afraid to cook it. Odin let out a tragic roar and jumped in without hesitation. With tears in their eyes, a group of retainers jumped in after Odin one after another. Odin raised the plank and made the retainers jump on the plank. Lifting them vigorously, the boiling cauldron on the lower part of the body is boiling, as if there is no feeling. It's enough for me to bear it. Odin said like this. Cat Viper, Inuarashi and others did not fall into the hot pot, but were held by Odin. Hearing what Odin said, he cried bitterly, yelling Lord Odin. Odin endured great pain. He whispered to the retainers on the board. The 9 retainers listened on the wooden board with tears of pain. Da Snake looked at the side and laughed more and more, with a cheerful expression on his face. Kaido didn't speak, but watched silently. Time passed by every minute and every second. Odin suffers from the pain of being cooked. It's almost an hour. At this time, the Kurozumi snake on the side let out a sinister laugh. Shoot and kill Odin. Kaido rolled his eyes and glanced at Kurozumi Orochi. No objection, neither Kazuki Odin nor these retainers can let go. Kaido instructed me to aim at the back. The courtiers were panicked and desperately said, Kaido. Orochi, it's about an hour. You despicable. Didn't Master Odin endure an hour of pain for them in vain? The snake didn't mind, and laughed. Odin's face was gloomy, and he was just about to use his last strength to help his retainers escape. The gun has been raised to aim. A moment of crisis. Suddenly, there was a thunder in the sky. A black-robed man with a violent haki appeared on the scene. It is Luo Feng. Luo Feng flew through the thunder and chased Wano-kuni. From a distance, I saw Kaido sitting in the middle, and rushed down excitedly, shouting hoarsely. Kaido, I finally found you. Kaido, the crowd of Orochi and Odin looked at the black-robed man who suddenly appeared in surprise. Find me. Kaido looked coldly at Luo Feng, the black robe that appeared suddenly. Queen. Quinn stood up beside him and said loudly, Who are you? The celestial pirates, Thor, Enel. Come to take your life, Kaido. Luo Feng told the prepared vest. Don't be ashamed. Kaido looked at Luo Feng fiercely. Quinn rushed directly up. Even dare to be disrespectful to the governor. Covering armament haki with his palm, he punched Luo Feng. Luo Feng also covered his fist with haki and greeted him with a punch. Boom. Quinn flew upside down and hit the mountain wall behind. Kaido's eyes constricted, and everyone knew Quinn's strength. Quinn stood up quickly, severe pain in his fist. Transform into a giant brachiosaurus form. Roaring and running towards Luo Feng. Go to hell. Quinn's huge feet were covered in black and stepped on. Thor. Layers of lightning surrounded Luo Feng, forming a tall human form of Thor. Raiden grabbed the brachiosaurus foot with his big hands. The other thunder and lightning hand was clenched into a fist and hammered at the head of brachiosaurus Quinn. With a bang, the lightning burst. The strong wind pressure brought thunder and lightning to overturn the surrounding rocks and people. Dusty. Odin and his gang got close in the pot and were knocked to the ground. The courtiers reacted and lifted Odin, who was severely burned to his lower body. Turning his head to look at Quinn, his face was shocked for the next moment. The ground was torn apart and a large piece was sunken. Quinn had pale eyes and fainted in the middle with bloodline on the corner of his mouth. The black robe Luo Feng stood calmly, still keeping the movement of punching. What? The little guy on Kaido's side opened his mouth wide, with a look of horror on his face. Orochi, Jin, and Kaido all had their eyes solemn, and they were shocked in their hearts. Quinn, I was defeated with a punch. This Thor is very strong. Luo Feng kicked Quinn forward. This punch, Raiden and Haki's punch, also aimed at the huge head. It's strange if you don't faint. Kaido, it's your turn. Asshole. Kaido was upset, came back dingy, was chopped by Odin, and now there are people running to provoke him. He stood up, took his huge mace, the veins violently, and walked towards Luo Feng step by step. Purple and blue thunder and lightning flashed with dark clouds in the sky. Master Kaido is angry. The surrounding little guys backed away in horror. Da Snake looked at Luo Feng bitterly, and then at Odin. After the mysterious man appeared, Odin and the others were left unattended, and they were backing away. Kaido's huge figure walked over step by step and stood beside Luo Feng. Luo Feng surrounded by thunder and lightning, and the state of Thor appeared. Thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido waved his mace, carrying a violent haki, and waved it at Luo Feng. Luo Feng's arms stretched out, wrapped around Raiden's arm, and also fisted. Loud noise. Boom. The thunder and lightning exploded. Kaido's Thunder 8 trigrams broke through the thunder and lightning fists. Hit Luo Feng's fist covering the black haki. Fists and bangs. Conqueror's collision spread out. Some weak ones couldn't bear it and immediately fainted to the ground. The sky seems to crack. Kaido. Luo Feng's eyes haki spread, increasing his strength. Kaido's mace, broken. Then his fist rushed straight and hit Kaido's arm. Boom. Kaido, knocked into the air, fell on the rock wall. Jin, on the side of the serpent, his eyes are about to fall, his face is unbelievable. This is Kaido, the strongest humanoid creature, but it was blown away by a fist. Odin and his retainers were stunned. The mysterious pirate that appeared suddenly, so strong, actually interrupted my weapon. Kaido turned his head, stood up unharmed, and walked forward. The anger on his face became more and more intense, purple light in his eyes lit up. Although this Enel is very powerful, it is not enough for him. With a dragon chant, Kaido changed into a huge dragon hovering under the dark clouds. Luo Feng looked at the giant dragon in front of him. Yes, it was this big piece of fat. God's sanction. The dark clouds in the sky brewed thunder, and the huge thunder pillar instantly struck the dragon that enveloped Kaido. After a burst of thunder, the dragon body Kaido's mouth is open, and a little smoke rises from his body. Shall you tick me? As expected of Kaido, Luo Feng's eyes lit up. God's sanctions only bombarded with smoke. The Kaido dragon rolled. Bad wind. The dragon's mouth spit out a huge wind blade and attacked. The people below have moved away, and this place is about to become the battlefield of the Governor General. Kinemon and others also helped Odin back quickly. Lion Majesty. Earth coiling. The stone land on the island seemed to come alive, turning into a huge lion head to welcome the past. Windblade confronts the lion of the earth. With a bang, the dust was flying. The two moves cancel each other out. This is Shiki's trick. Who are you? Why are there two abilities? Kaido's dragon head looked incredulous. Luo Feng said hoarsely, the heavenly pirates, Thor Enel is me. Kaido opened his eyes wide and stared at Luo Feng under the black robe, thinking to himself. Celestial pirates, never heard of it. Lift off his black robe to know who it is. Why are you distracted, Kaido? A hoarse voice appeared on Kaido. Luo Feng has jumped onto the Kaido dragon head. The fist brought haki around and thunder and lightning, and fell towards the dragon's head from above. Lighten lion fruit, start, ultimate increase weight. The whole person adds a fist and hammers on the dragon's head. Kaido couldn't help closing his eyes when he was hit by the blow. The whole body fell down, and the dragon's head hit the ground first and slammed to the ground. A piece of dust was stirred up, the earth shattered, and the entire ghost island shook. Jin, Orochi and others retreated to the other side of the ghost island, looking at them in horror. Odin and the others had already passed the other side, and they were excited and shocked to see Kaido being shot down. This mysterious Thor is amazing. The dust dispersed. Luo Feng fell to the ground. Kaido's huge dragon body fell into the cracked gravel, and the ground was torn apart. Shaking his head, he opened his eyes and looked at Luo Feng. You are really resistant to beatings, Kaido. Asshole. Kaido's huge body quickly wrapped Luo Feng in the middle, circling constantly. A huge wind blade was formed on the dragon body to blow towards Luo Feng. The dragon's head is in the sky, and a bite of heat is brewing. You have nowhere to run. Luo Feng stared at Kaido, who was about to exhale heat directly above. This guy is really resistant, he can only use his execution knife. Regardless of the wind blade around him, Luo Feng flipped his hand. A system execution knife with a handle of half a meter long and a knife length of 1 meter appeared in his hand. The handle was shortened, the surface of the blade was white, and the blade was shining with cold light. The huge heat is gushing down with high temperature. Kaido's eyes are full of kills. Luo Feng jumped up to meet the heat. Avoid it. The red and black haki entangled the execution knife. The world seems to be left with knife light and heat. The blade opened the heat, divided it into two sides, and hit Kaido's cross wound from bottom to top. An even bigger wound appeared, and Biao shot blood. The heat stops dumbly. The dragon body rolled and fell back to the ground. Nani, Big Snake, Jin, and Quinn, who just woke up, the little brothers behind them, were shocked and horrified. Master Kaido got chopped again. The eyes of Orochi and the others were throbbing. What is the origin of this Enel? This kind of power has never been heard of by all forces on the sea. Odin and others on the other side were even more shocked. God avoid. How could it be possible? Odin's eyes kept beating. Unbelievable, how could he not recognize Roger's tricks? Celestial pirates. I have never heard of it. Why would he use God to avoid? Does Roger have anything to do with him? Boom. The cyan dragon Kaido fell to the ground. Luo Feng slowly fell in front of the leader. Kaido opened his eyes slightly and looked at the knife in Luo Feng's hand in the black robe. A breath of death resurfaced in his heart again. The blade is light and ski-white, flashing with cold light, as if to attract Kaido in. Fear appeared in the eyes of the dragon Kaido, and his pupils kept shaking up and down. He was terrified. The huge stab wound was irritating him, and he couldn't care about so much. The dragon body quickly rolled and flew up. Luo Feng raised the execution knife in his hand, ready to meet Kaido's attack. Go together. Kaido's eyes flickered, and he turned and flew to the crowd, shouting. Luo Feng clank. Want to run. Kong Yun. Cut. Leaping high and chasing Kaido, a red and black knife light cut off. The distance to the Ghost Island is just around the corner. Jin, Quinn, Orochi and others were terrified, but they could only bite the bullet. Various abilities are launched. Transformed into Brachiosaurus, Toothless Pterodactyl, and 8-Chi Serpent. Kaido's huge green body surrounded them, and the dragon's breath in his mouth brewed again. Governor Kaido wants to use heat, hold him. Jin flew forward first. Luo Feng's huge knife light cut vertically. The crowd retreated in fear. Heat. Kaido braved the flames. A greater heat than before spewed away, and the blade light was stopped by the impact and dissipated. Jin, Orochi, Quinn, Kurozumi and others greeted him. Luo Feng escaped from the hot tail flame, holding the execution knife, and the red and black hockey danced around the knife. The toothless pterosaur in the form of Jin flew quickly, and it struck with flames on its feet. Luo Feng is preparing to execute him with a sword. At the next moment, Luo Feng was shocked, and he saw it. After Kaido sprayed the dragon's breath, he turned and flew away, moving away in the air. Boom. Luo Feng was kicked in the right shoulder by Jin and paused. Pain. The body turned, and the execution knife filled with hockey flashed. Eagle slash. Jin, execution. Quinn, Orochi and others, there was shock in their eyes, and a chill appeared. The forward body hesitated. Jin was hacked to death with a single knife. In Luo Feng's eyes, the thunder is prosperous, and he must execute these myself, Quinn, and Orochi. Otherwise Kaido runs farther and farther. Wan Lei. There are more dark clouds in the sky, and thunder is brewing in the clouds. The next moment, thousands of thunder descended, bombarding the entire island continuously. With the wailing resistance of the big Brachiosaurus incarnation of Quinn, Luo Feng stepped forward and slashed with a knife. Da Snake also waved the snake heads to resist, looking at Luo Feng with desperate eyes, as if he wanted to ask for mercy. Luo Feng flashed again. The whole island is shrouded in thunder light. Kaido glanced back at the ghost island wrapped by the lightning landing, let out a roar, and flew faster. On the other side, Odin and the 9 retainers had their jaws dropped to the ground. Unbelievable. Kaido actually ran away. The entire ghost island is surrounded by terrifying thunder and bombarded constantly. Shocked. Is this Thor? Odin muttered to himself, with shock in his eyes, his pupils twitching. Beiji and Roger are nothing but this, but I have never heard of such a person at sea. On the ghost island, the rest is under the positioning of observation hockey, unable to escape the bombardment of thunder. Execution one by one. Luo Feng turned into a thunder light, chasing after Kaido's breath and wound blood. Kaido hurriedly flew to the Bigmom waters. Luo Feng pursued from behind. This is going to escape to the ant's site. Luo Feng pursued the breath of Kaido, and found that the direction of Kaido's escape was all nations. Kaido has already escaped to the territory of Bigmom first. Never mind, it will take many days to chase after the nations. Aunt Charlotte Linlin's strength combined with her gang of children is a trouble. It still takes a lot of time. Impel Down has to go back. Luo Feng did not want to give up his identity as an execution officer. Beast's pirates had been executed on Ghost Island, and a series of system prompts had already come out. Good harvest. Executed Beast's pirates. Kaido, this big piece of fat, let's eat it again. Thinking of this, Luo Feng changed direction, ready to rush back to Impel Down. Destroying lightning consumes physical energy. Luo Feng picked up a plank, sat on the plank with Lion Fruit ability, and galloped all the way. Ghost Island. The thunder stopped, and Luo Feng, the black robe, chased away. Odin and his retainers saw Luo Feng never come back for a long time, and once again boarded the ruined Ghost Island. Master Odin, is this really a god? Jinweiman's eyes were dull, and Mama said. The scorched corpses all over the ground, Kurozumi Orochi is also one of them. Quinn, Jin was even more pierced and cut off. The island was broken and black. Yes, the one who is so powerful is God. Odin thought of Roger and his brother Whitebeard in his mind. What would it be like if they confronted the Black Robe Thor? The other side, Kaido turned into a dragon and rushed to the Cake Island where Bigmom is located with blood flowing. Entered in horror. Kaido, are you going to go to war? In the castle, the voice of Aunt Charlotte Linlin went out. Big Mom, I'm here to escape. The dragon looked back at Wanokuni's direction, but didn't feel the breath. Finally turned into a human form. Bigmom's eyes were exposed from the castle, and the eyes widened in an instant. There was shock in the eyes, and he shouted in disbelief. Kaido, who can hurt you like this? At this time, Luo Feng hurried back to Impel Down. Although it is a pity Kaido ran away again. But I also harvested Beast's pirates in Wanokuni. Luo Feng estimated that there was still a part outside, and Jack, one of the 3 plagues, did not see it. Rushed back to Sabayati Archipelago, Luo Feng lifted his invisibility. Had a big meal on the island and bought something. After pretending to be on vacation, he ran to the branch and took the warship back to Impel Down. Everything is business as usual. Luo Feng went to Magellan to report, and then returned to the room. Excited and ready to check out the system. Luo Feng was in the room and turned on the system excitedly. Congratulations, host has executed the evil beast's pirates, Kurozumi Orochi. Physical stamina increased by 1800. Reward, Devil Fruit. Eichi Orochi. Devil Fruit. Clone Fruit. Devil Fruit. Toothless Pterosaur. Devil Fruit. Brachiosaurus. Skill. Jin's Body Art. Finally broke the 10,000 mark. Luo Feng was excited, and the harvest from a trip out there is more than a few years from here. Unfortunately, there are not many opportunities. The powerful devil fruit burst out. Some physical skills have also exploded. Among the items are a bunch of Wanokuni's special weapons, made by Seastone. Don't care too much. Luo Feng excitedly took out the clone fruit and swallowed it. This is a good thing. The properties panel is opened. Host. Luo Feng. Weapon. Top execution knife produced by the system. Skills. Marine 6 styles top level 1 sword style. Eagle Chop top level 1 sword style. Divine Avoidance primary Kongyun Chop top level. Boxing intermediate. Ability. Observation Hockey top level. Armament Hockey top level. Conqueror's Hockey top level. Unawakened Fruit. Thunder Fruit. Big Buddha Fruit. Lion Fruit. Strong Fruit. Barrier Fruit. Stealth Fruit. Rusty Fruit. Snow Fruit. Light Lion Fruit. Physical Fitness. 10,500 10,500ths. System Space. Famous Knife. Sakura 10. Famous Knife. Mew Withered. Devil Fruit. Eichi Big Snake. Devil Fruit. Luo Feng looked at the property panel and thought to himself. Today's needs Logia, or the fruit of Paramesha, can be greatly transformed into his own combat power. If something like a fake avatar fruit is also very helpful, and the ancient species of this kind of transformed dinosaur is not suitable for him, it can only be useful on certain occasions. It is also necessary to continue to improve physical fitness and develop fruit abilities. For example, playing against Kaido, although the speed is faster than him, without a torture knife. It is really difficult to cause fatal injuries to him. System, can I only exercise my own ability to develop fruit? You can use the unedible devil fruit activation state, allowing the host to develop the ability to comprehend the fruit more quickly. Luo Feng is overjoyed. Why didn't you talk about this feature earlier? You haven't asked. The effect of using devil fruit to assist development is not strong. The cold mechanical voice of the system replied. Just effective. How about hockey? Can you continue to enhance it? Can. Luo Feng smiled. A bunch of useless abilities are not as good as those used to develop powerful fruits. For example, what's the use of the jacket fruit in the system space? Luo Feng imagined that he was shivering in a fight and shouting a jacket slogan. Use the jacket fruit to activate the thunder fruit ability. Yes, the jacket fruit in the system space disappeared. Luo Feng's lightning power began to roll in his body, and a strange feeling emerged. Thunder and lightning. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with a perfect arc of thunder. This bizarre state lasted less than a minute before it ended. It's gone. Luo Feng looked surprised. Is the jacket fruit so weak? Continue to use Yaki Orochi fruit. Luo Feng continued. Okay. The system's voice just fell off. The strange state appeared again. Luo Feng has developed more insights into the capabilities of thunder fruit. This time, it lasted 2 minutes. It seems that there is also a big class gap between the fruits. Luo Feng checked the property panel and found that there was a change. A brand new devil fruit bar. Devil fruit. Thunder fruit 20% awakening progress. Lion fruit 5% of awakening progress. Snow fruit awakening progress 2%. Big Buddha fruit awakening progress 2%. The awakening progress is the extent to which the fruit is developed, and the fruit ability can be awakened by reaching 100%. 2 fruits made thunder fruit's awakening progress to 20%. Luo Feng thought with excitement that it would not be able to activate the awakening thunder and lightning ability soon. 5% of it comes from the development of thunder fruit by host. The cold voice of the system prompted. Harm, 15%, this is a lot. It doesn't matter, the system uses all the extra fruits. Those useless devil fruits are not as good as their own strength. The strange state is coming. The thunder arc in Luo Feng's eyes throbbed. Some fruits that were useless to Luo Feng were consumed. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.